Tumeingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
Tonight, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, a lot is taking place so fast. Therefore, everybody must work hard to stay on the cutting edge as far as making sense of our politics is concerned, and of course, remaining on top of all matters. Tonight, this is Sound Candy Talk Live. 72 people have cast their vote already, and only 42 have liked the video. Justified. So from the look of things, the majority of Kenyans think the government need to up their. Glad to report we are back on the main channel as well, and therefore we are asking everybody to join from wherever you are. Sound Candy Talk Live YouTube channel, and we are also live on X as well as extended to Facebook.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk Live.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another amazing episode whereby we'll be running and having a conversation tonight due to everything that is a matter that are raising up. I am your host, Diesel, and the principles remains Kamakawa, Kamadawa. I'll be your host tonight, and we'll be having tricky conversation a little bit, and we're having also spicy conversation for building up our nation and having a good moment together as we are having a great conversation with you. So I want to welcome you all. Feel free and feel part and parcel of this as we going have to have the good discussion tonight. And tonight I'm having a lot that I'm cooking here with me. One of the things I'll be cooking tonight is all about the story of the Rigiji. The Rigiji story is getting big. The Rigiji story is getting out. The Rigiji story is getting wide. I would like to hear from you. I would like to get opinions from you too. Also, another thing is another story that I'll be having tonight. The story about the NHIF and the story about the health and the story of cancer by the story of KNH also be hitting the headlines tonight, and also with other many stories. But what today has come to across to my mind and what has touched my mind on a negative side is the story of some people going to steal in church, and they decided that we'll steal and we'll drink the whole divine in the church. These people are serious. And after drinking all the divine and eating all the Lord's table, they decided to go with the piano. So somebody was making the fun today saying that they decided to have the meza ya Bwana kwanza kuomba so that they can, before they go away. This is something that's so serious. We're also checking towards that, and also other many more things that have been rising up. What I want to do, welcome you is welcome. Let us have the conversation together before we bring in Bernard on the other end, who will be taking over and having the conversation with us. For the starting, I'm Shedizo, and I'll request you to join up so that we can have the discussion. Somebody's asking, how can I join up? Use the link on the comment section, click it, let's configure your audio, your camera, and you will be part and parcel of this as we are moving on swiftly and analyzing this. So today, I want to begin up with the stories that have been mounting up. There are many things that have been happening in the church today or in the church recently. There are a lot being happening in the church recently. So I would like to hear from you. What is this you think that is happening in the church that is not normal, or what is going on in the church with the church now? Because this is so serious, and I would like to hear from you. What do you think, or where do you think the problem is as we are living in Kenya, or as we are continuing moving on swiftly. So today we'll begin on another gear, a controversial gear, and this is how we're beginning it.
You are watching Sound Candy Talk live.
Polisi katika kaunti ya Kirinyaga wameanzisha uchunguzi kuwakamata wezi waliovamia kanisa moja na kula sakramenti zote kisha wakaiba vifaa vya muziki. Kwa mujibu wa usimamizi wa kanisa hilo la ACK St Matthews Mutithi, wezi hao walivunja dirisha na kuingia ndani ya kanisa ambapo pia walikunywa mgi 100,000. Tukio hilo limewacha wenyeji hofu kuhusu kuongezeka kwa msururu wa visa vya wizi kwenye makanisa.
Waliingia kwa hii kanisa yetu, wakuja akakuvunja dirisha, kwa madhehebu, wakakuta kuna dibairi kwa church wine, alafu na wakakunywa yote na wakakula sakramenti ya kanisa, halafu wakaenda.
Hilo ni jambo mbaya sana, na ni vizuri tuwaambie watu waendelee kuheshimu madhabahu na waendelee kuheshimu nyumba ya Mungu.
Alafu mniambie tuko na amani kweli? Wapo nyumba za Bwana zinaweza shambuliwa, kumaanisha kwamba mambo yanazidi kuchemuka. Mimi sina maoni. Ningependa mniambie kwa kweli, hili ni jambo la kusikitiza. Manake leo hii nimekuwa nikipitia comment section ya Wakenya. Wakenya, Mungu anaona, Wakenya kila mtu anaona kwa Mungu. Wakenya hamtaona kwa Mungu. Wakenya Kenyans will not see heaven. Oh, okay. After all this happening, what did Kenya decide to say? What did the Kenyan commented on the picture? What did the Kenyans spoke on the comment section? Many laughed. Hai, sikizeni niwasomee comments za Wakenya. Wakenya hamtaona kwa Mungu. Sikiza hivi, kuna mtu hapa anajiita Maina anasema hivi: ilisemekana wakule mwili na damu ya Yesu. Sasa walikula in whole, sio in nusu, walikula in whole generally. Sasa ni wasafi, hata kama waliiba keyboard ni wasafi. Hizo ndo Kenya. Anasema kwamba mtu anajiita Kangamendia anasema kwamba what's church wine? Anauliza what's church wine? Mumwambie nini church wine ni nini? Nani mwingine hapa tena? Kuna mwingine anaitwa Francis anasema empty stomach, na ameweka emoji ya kucheka. Mwingine anasema pale anaitwa amesema hivi, to obey Ephesians 6:1-3. Sijui inasema nini. Kuna mwingine anaitwa Carol anasema kwamba nadhania sakramenti ni ya wale wanaruhusiwa pekee, kumbe hata wezi pia. Yes, will not kill me. Yo sakramenti nayo. Okay. Kenyans, please don't kill me. Let me read this. Yo sakramenti not holy like of Catholic. Hiyo ni mkate tu na no worry. Kuleni kabisa. So What do you think? Do you think people did what is good? Because if somebody like Jacinta anasema kwamba hiyo sakramenti not only like the Catholic one. Anasema hiyo ni mkate tu, kuleni tu. So you're encouraging this. So wakule tu. Kuleni tu. Kenya, sure. Kenyans, please. Kenyans, let me hear from you. This is serious. This is serious, Kenyans. If tunaweza sema kwamba is not only like the Catholic one. So what is the difference between the Catholic one and Lord's bread, Lord's table? Nini tofauti? Let me hear from you, these Kenyans. This is getting serious. So this is getting serious because of recently tumekuwa na a lot of things in church. We have been having a lot of politics in church. Sindio? And nini na hii imekuwa zaidi. I would love to hear from you, Kenyans. Please niambini. I'll also be reading the comment section ya Kenya. Nitakuwa nacheza video, tunasoma comment section. Tunasoma comment section ndio tujue kwamba ni nini inafanyika na kanisa. What's not happening with the church? This is serious. For those who are joining, please, the link is on the comment section. Come up in the studio so that you can have the great conversation together and do the analysis together and know where our nation is going or where the nation is heading to. Because recently we are having a lot of robbers. I want to check also this. This is also one another amazing one. Today, in our prayer.
Angazia taarifa sasa ambapo viongozi wa kanisa na wa kijamii wamelalamikia ongezeko la visa vya makanisa kuvunjwa na vyombo vya kielektroniki vya kuhubiri na vya muziki kuibwa katika maeneo kadhaa ya Kirinyaga. Kufikia sasa makanisa matatu yakiwemo kanisa la Kianglikana la Ishangi na Kidharani Padri wa kanisa la Kianglikani la Gituto David Nyaruko huko Gishugu amesema kuwa majambazi hao wamekuwa wakiwalenga walinzi wazee wasiojiweza sana ambao wamekuwa wakiajiriwa kulinda makanisa hayo kisha kuvamia na kuiba, huku akisema kuwa kuna haja ya sasa kwa makanisa kuajiri walinzi vijana ambao wataweza kukabiliana na majambazi hao.
Thank you, young mothers. God bless you. We are concerned. Hata kama we shall forgive, let the law take its course. Because if we allow this to continue, then at the end of the day, our churches will have so many problems.
That there are people who are stealing from the churches. And I want to say this is criminal. So let us not put religion in it. If we have criminals who are stealing from the church, those are criminals. We are not going to talk about we will forgive them because this is a church. Let the full length of the law take place and take precedence.
Hii nayo imetoka tena Kirinyaga, the same Kirinyaga last 3 months. So watu wa Kirinyaga mniambie shida ni nini? Somebody is saying kuna mtu anajiita pale PK anasema kwamba the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That is God. Imesema na PK mwenyewe. That's what PK say. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But sasa kwa watu hakuna the fear of the Lord. And the funny thing, the first clip of the play is the same Kirinyaga. The second clip, this is 3 months ago. The same Kirinyaga. What was Kirinyaga? Okay, mujere. Neke kioro na nyue. Mama na moka na hizi vyombo za church. Mama vyombo church ndio tunauzia dabo. Mbaya. What was Kirinyaga? What's not happening? Okay, I've been getting the complaints today. Kwamba wengine wanasema kwamba kwamba kuna vitu zinanyimwa, wengine sijui mara vita kanisani, wengine sijui nini na nini. There's a lot of things. There are a lot of things. And the funny thing, zinafanyika barabara moja. So what's not happening? What is not happening with the church? What's not happening all over the nation? Where the church is going? Okay, tukiacha nayo, wacha nikupeleke Gatundu. Pia Gatundu tena wizi zingine ilifanyika huko. What's not happening with the church? Wacha nikupeleke Gatundu. Gatundu ni tena ilitokea huko tena.
Makanisa katika kijiji cha Kirai eneo la Gatundu kaskazini kaunti ya Kiambu yameelezea ghadhabishwa na ongezeko la wizi wa vitu mbalimbali kutoka kwa makanisa, na katika kipindi cha mwezi uliopita wezi wanaripotiwa kuvamia makanisa kadhaa na kuyapora. Mwanahabari wetu Margaret Kimathi anaarifu.
Katika visa vya hivi punde, kanisa la Kenya Assemblies of God KNH na lile la ACK yameachwa yakikadiria hasara kubwa baada ya majambazi hao kuiba mabati, vyuma, nyaya na ala za muziki.
Tumekuwa tukisumbuliwa sana na wakora hawa. Wamekuwa wakituibia mara kwa mara. Ni kwa maana wakikuja hawaachi kitu yoyote ambayo inaweza wasaidia. Wamekuja wametungolea wiring yote.
Polisi hata tukiripoti hakuna hatua wanachukua. Kwa maana juzi tuliripoti wiring ilipoenda wakatuambia tushike mkora tuwapeleke. Kwa hivyo hapa sana security hakuna.
Katika hali ya kushangaza, uharibifu huu umezidi kukumba maburi mbalimbali kijijini hapo, ambapo wahalifu hao wameharibu na kuiba grili zinazotumika kutengeneza makaburi hayo. Kulingana na kati ya Sing'ang'a, waharibifu hao hawawachi kitu chochote cha chuma kwenye makaburi, jambo ambalo alisema limeacha vyumba vingi vya vyuma vikiwa wazi.
Hizi kaburi zilikuwa zimetengenezwa na chuma vizuri sana, na zilikuja zikang'olewa zote zikabaki bure vile zilikuwa. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wale wenye wanauzua hizo chuma waache kuwa wananunua chuma yote ile wameletewa.
Wakristo hapa kwangu hawana amani, wanalalamika sana juu ya security.
Wenyeji hao waliokerwa waliitaka serikali kuchukua hatua kwa haraka ili wahalifu hao wakamatwe na kufunguliwa mashtaka. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Ni hivyo kuko na ni hivyo mambo yanazidi kuchemuka, manake walisema lipo na kama halipo basi laje. Hivi ndivyo kunachemuka sasa. Watu wa Anglican, uniambia shida ni nini? Somebody say that anauliza tunauliza kwamba roho alienda wapi ndani ya watu. So what Anglican muniambie what's not happening? Because many the churches are being stolen for the past 3 years. It is just Anglican. There are many Anglicans. So I'm trying to reconnect and to see what is happening with the Anglican Church. I'm trying to figure it out. So I would like to hear from you. Please tell me what's not happening with the church. What's not happening or what's not going on well? Pastors, what's not happening? The church has been the one with the conflict a lot of recently. The church is the one that killing people back when wanakiwa somo kanisani until people are afraid of going to church. Ndio sasa watu wanaidua kanisani vile wanataka tu. And then watu wa mlima mniambie what's the problem? Haya sasa imeamua hata msio kanisa peke yake mpaka hata kaburi ziko kanisani mmeamua kusumbua watu wenye wamekufa. Stealing even from those who are dead. Hey, please, I would like to hear from you. Probably mniambie where is the problem? Sida iko wapi? If you still in the church, mojarizika makaburi zimetengenezwa pale nje za mapadri wa ACK wa Anglican Church, bado tena mumeiba. Chuma zote mumeng'oa. wana complain mumeenda kuuza kwa scrap. Sasa mumechoka hata kuibia hata church peke yake vyombo na nini, muongeza mpaka na church. Next time sasa mtangua milango ya kanisa kwenda kupeleka kwa scrap na madirisha.
Mama assembly.
Next you will nini mtaiba kanisani sasa? Ile the fear of God is no longer inside the people. The conflict is there. Leo huyu padri watakosana na huyu, kesho huyu aamue kwenda na washirika wake waanzisha kanisa yao, huyu mwingine aanzishe kwenda kanisa yao, until mpaka watu nishindwa kwenda kanisani. Kesho wengine usikie fulio pastor alifanya nini, pastor mwingine sijui alifanya nini, huyu akafanya nini. Those things they make even people can stop going to church, and then they make the church to lose the value of the church. I would like even the pastors to come on board uniambie shida iko wapi, ama niweze ndo muongeza gia. Umeenda church, tumekunywa meza ya Bwana, mtu anasema pale comment section kwamba wamekuwa wasafi. Surely Kenyans. Mimi nimeinua mkono juu. Kenyans will not kill me all. The battle mliamua kutua, mliamua hasa mmechoka, mkaamua kupeleka Tanzania. At least upumue. Kenyans, I would like to hear from you. I'd like to hear from Gen Zs. And also, kama unajua uliacha kwenda church, hebu niambie tu kwa comment section. Nini ilifanya ukaacha kwenda kanisani? Niambie tu kwa comment section. We are free. Nobody. We are listening, but we are not judging. Just put on the comment section. Niambie tu. Why do you stop go to church? Nini ilifanya ukaacha kwenda church? Na sisemi urudi. Niambie tu kwa comment section. I'll appreciate so much. I wish hata ningejenga hiyo kukua poll question. Just tell me on the comment section, why did you stop going to church? Niambie tu. What's not happening with the Kenya government? What's not happening with the Kenyan churches? Huh? This is getting hot. This is getting fire. Let me see on the comment section. Leo team TikTok sijaenda team TikTok. I don't know if team TikTok will cooperate because they have been sleeping so much very recently. But let me see team Facebook, team YouTube wako hapa in the building. Na see Esther sema good evening Bernard and all of you. You're still there's also PK. Thank you. I don't know if Salasi or I see Anne saying wana it is time. Sikiza vile inasema hivi. It is time kaende sana. Sio mimi nasema. Wacha hata nigeze hiyo comment. Ndio hiyo. Sio mimi nasema. It is time kaenda sana. Mnasema Chagizo anasoma vitu zake. Ndio wewe anasema kwamba mambo ni mengi. Sijui kuanzia. Sio mimi nasema. Wacha nicheze hizo comment ndio mseme mimi nasoma vitu zangu. Nasema kwamba mambo ni mengi, sijui tuanzie wapi. Hebu penye tutaanzia tu. Muniambie. This is another guy anasema kwamba comment section anasema kwamba ati wale dini ya Catholic ya nini. So what is the difference? Mimi sijui tofauti. Wote mnakula meza ya Bwana. Mniambie what is the difference between meza ya Bwana ya SK na meza ya Bwana ya Catholic? I would like to hear from you. Mimi sijui. Mimi sijui. Na pia tuna unyafiacha kwenda church, niambie kwa comment section. We will not judge you. Weka tu kwa comment section. Niambie why did you stop going to church? Kama hizi stories zilifanya ulianza, niambie tu. Usiogope. I'll be good. I'll be glad to reading your comments too. And I'll be glad to hear from you. Tukiona team TikTok, I don't know team TikTok, their response is still low. Let me see how we can sort out for the team TikTok. Tunapenda team TikTok pia now. They are brothers. They normally bring shida team TikTok analetanga comments zingine wazimu. You can wonder. Where do you begin from? Or where do you start from? I think let me do one video for the churches. Hii story katika time imeanza kunipea wasiwasi. Let me do this video one more time. Muniambie vizuri. Kwa mwenye wako ameipata, aipate vizuri. Let me do it for the last time before tusonge vizuri, and then muniambie nyinyi mnaona vipi. Where's the church going? Mambo ni mengi, masaa ni machache. This is how we are doing it.
Ya Kirinyaga wameanzisha uchunguzi kuwakamata wezi waliovamia kanisa moja na kula sakramenti zote kisha wakaiba vifaa vya muziki. Kwa mujibu wa usimamizi wakadisha na kuingia ndani ya kanisa ambapo pia walikunywa mvinyo wa kanisa kabla kutoweka na kinanda chenye thamani ya shilingi 100,000. Tukio hilo limewaacha wenyeji kwa hofu kuhusu kuongezeka kwa msururu wa visa vya wizi kwenye makanisa.
Waliingia kwa hii kanisa yetu, wakuja wakakuvunja dirisha na wakuja wakaimba piano, ingia mpaka kwa water table, kwa madhehebu, wakakuta kuna dibai ilikuwa imebakia, church wine, alafu na wakakunywa yote na wakakula sakramenti ya kanisa, halafu wakaenda.
Hilo ni jambo mbaya sana, na ni vizuri tuwaambie watu waendelee kuheshimu madhabahu na waendelee kuheshimu nyumba ya Mungu.
Naam, kweli hakuna aliye salama iwapo nyumba za
ibada pia inaweza shambuliwa, alafu mniambie tuko salama. Kweli Wakenya hatuko safe, we are not safe at all. For those who are joining up, this is one of the topics that we have been checking out for the robbery that is happening in church, and I think we'll have the conversation of this story for the many things that are happening in church, because a lot is going on and the Lord is cooking. I would like to hear from those people who are cooking it as we are moving on swiftly. Please, I invite you to join up the show, share the link to the many people as many possible, so that we can have the great conversation together and have a good discussion tonight. Because tonight we will see a lot more is coming. Guy, Team TikTok in the building. Team TikTok mtanisamea kidogo. I will not engage you so much because kidogo kuna mambo hapo imechemuka. Let me try to see kama tunaweza leta Team TikTok kwa screen. They are good people. Watusaidie pia kuchanganua hii. What do you think, or what is your opinion about it? Because tonight we are here to bring everything to the place that is supposed to be, or bringing everything to the alignment of it, and it will be good and it will be great as we are moving on swiftly. Team TikTok, let us continue tapping the screen. Let us continue sharing the conversation. I don't have the stand today, but will forgive me. I will see how I will sort you out. We are live on Sound Candy Talk YouTube. We are live Sound Candy Talk Facebook. We are live on Sound Candy Talk TikTok. And for those who are still joining up, welcome inside the show so that we can have a great conversation. Today we ask a simple question. Why did you stop going to church? That's one of the questions that we'll be answering there. No, sijasema urudi church. Mimi nimeuliza tu kwa nini uliacha kwenda church. Niambie hapo chini as we are checking out more details, because there are a lot of war is cooking and is getting hotter. Tukiachana na hayo, mimi naanza na story ya NHIF. Let me take you to the story of NHIF. NHIF imeungua tena. Mambo yanachemuka. The story is going on, and the story of there are a lot of things happening inside our nation right now. Tukifikiria hii tunafikiria hii, lakini wa Kenya wanatupeleka mbio. See, the syllabus is running too fast. Let us check the story of health, because it's one of the things that we have been having a problem with as the nation. We feel like our health is being lagged behind, and we feel like there are people that are not getting the medication, they're not getting the treatment very well, and they're not getting the good vibe or the clear medication on health facilities. Let us check this out, and then we'll have the conversation on health as we are moving on swiftly.
Threatened to release a list of healthcare facilities involved in fraud under the former National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIF. Duale spoke at the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between Social Health Authority and the Aga Khan Hospital to ensure that patients with kidney and heart conditions receive treatment funded by the Social Health Authority. The Health CS stated that no health facility or healthcare worker will be allowed to offer services to the public without complying with required legal standards. Through these agreements, patients with kidney conditions will be covered up to 700,000 from SHA, while those with heart conditions will get up to 1.1 million Kenya shillings. Any costs exceeding these amounts will be covered by the hospital.
Never again will Kenyans be treated by quacks. Never again will Kenyans go to a facility that does not look like a health facility. And that's why today I'm very, very happy to have come to Aga University, one of our premier institutions in our country, with all that is required. That's what we want our referral facilities to do what is right. And our business is to make sure that we provide accessible, affordable, quality health care to our citizens.
Yes, Junet. That is what is cooking, and that's what is going on inside our nation too. We'll be checking more details for that, and we'll be checking more details from it too, so that we are moving on swiftly. So the story is going on, and the story is still cooking up, because the story is still adding up, and it's not even adding up a lot of sense, because hey, ile mbio mnakimbizwa wa Kenya, sure tusidanganyane, hii ni mbio sana, hata ingine tunashindwa kukimbia. So we are still thinking about this. This is coming up. Okay, let us check the story of health. We're still checking the story of health. Let us check also the story of KNH. Is also now adding up at the same time, while the story of Nini is also building up. These are two contradictional stories, whereby showing that the health facilities, they're having a problem. Well, we're having a problem in our medical facilities and inside our health. So, chaos, we are on an edge whereby if we not be careful, we'll get into a ditch that we'll never come out from. We'll get inside a ditch that we'll never get out of from. Let us check out this before I begin giving out shout from the team TikTok.
Tonight, hundreds of cancer patients at the Kenyatta National Hospital have been left stranded after the facility's only remaining rent broke down nearly 2 weeks ago. Patients who spoke to Citizen TV say they received calls from the institution on Tuesday instructing them to report for their scheduled session on Wednesday. They were met with disappointment. The machine was still out of service. This marks the second consecutive week patients have missed the life-saving treatment. And as Mary Mwokinao tells us in the following report, the patients and their caregivers are now pleading with the government to intervene urgently and prevent further delays that will lead to the worsening of their conditions.
It's the groan of a patient who has reached her breaking point. Stricken by cancer and her body racked with pain, she lies silently on the hospital bench, every wave of agony causing her frail frame to rise involuntarily. The irony is not lost on her. She came to the hospital in search of relief, hoping for treatment that would ease her suffering and slow the relentless advance of the disease. But the life-saving radiotherapy machine she depended on is broken. She is not alone. Other patients facing the same fate along with their distraught caregivers are growing increasingly anxious. They say they were first turned away last Wednesday when they arrived for their radiotherapy session, only to be informed that the Cobalt radiotherapy machine had broken down. The hospital, they say, promised to call them back once the machine was repaired and operational.
Sasa nikawauliza kama hii kitu imeshirikiana, mimi nimebakisha hizo tano. Simunipe barua niende Texas. Daktari kaenda kuambia, akamwambia hapana, mwambie kesho mashini iko sawa. Sisi tumeraukia kuja na imagine tunatoka all the way Kamugu. Na mwenye anakusaidia kwa sababu huwezi kuja mwenyewe. Haya, tumekuja asubuhi. Mashini fanya kazi.
Nikakuja naye, nilifika huku 5. Naona sasa ameshida kama amekaa, na lazima sasa anaseme akikaa chini sana kasa yake ni ya huku nyuma, sasa inatoa inatoa usaha.
Their hopes were however dashed when on arrival they were informed the machine was still out of commission.
Ugonjwa unaambiwanga haikaangi mahali moja. Na tena hata daktari anakuwa advise mgonjwa akianza treatment hafai kustop.
In a statement to newsrooms, the Kenyatta National Hospital acknowledged the gap in care for cancer patients occasioned by the breakdown of the linear elector machine, also known as the LINAC, forcing thousands of patients to rely on only one machine, the cobalt radiotherapy machine, which the hospital says is straining to keep up with the demand and had broken down from the overuse. The statement by the hospital's acting CEO, Dr. William Sigilai, goes on to say KNH is also pleased to inform the public that the cobalt radiotherapy machine, which had previously broken down, has now been fully restored and is operational. In the meantime, the procurement of a new LINAC machine has been fast-tracked through the appropriate tendering channels and is now at a very advanced stage. The incident underscores a deeper crisis facing many public hospitals across the country, where overworked, outdated machines are struggling to meet the overwhelming demand for cancer care, leaving patients in a state of uncertainty and despair. Mary Moki, Citizen TV.
This is what is going on. This is what is cooking and taking is inside our medical and health issues. So please let us be careful. If you have a cancer patient, please make sure you get conscious of it. Let us not tread in a wrong way, because when we tread in a wrong way, we'll find ourselves getting inside the ditch and not getting help we're not getting part place so that we can be helped or we can get good medication. So I would like to be sensitive and let us check it out, because this is serious. If we found that the machine, we're having one machine for cancer patients and you see the line is still long, and when somebody is saying, please write for me a letter so that I can get medication on another place, they tell the person that no, we don't have to go to another place because the machine will be working by tomorrow. This is something that is very, very, very serious and very not appealing to. Before we go for a commercial break, let me shout out from the people at TikTok. What do a TikTok? What a TikTok, you just began recently, but I see they have a good response from Team TikTok. Team TikTok, I see one of the people on the Team TikTok, anajiita nani huyu? Anajiita kwamba, hey, J Mo. Thank you, J Mo. I see this one called John Joy. Thank you, John. Nani mwingine hapa? Kuna mwingine anajiita Macrin. Thank you. Chrissy. Thank you. Mary Mso, thank you. Nicholas, thank you for joining. Stephanie, thank you. Nitasoma mambo zingine baadaye. Namuona Palma, thank you Palma. Anamuona nani mwingine tena anaitwa Eda, thank you. Namuona Chrissy, thank you. Namuona Chocolate, Bobby, thank you Bobby, thank you for those who are still joining up. Namuona nani mwingine anaitwa presenter to I see Shapa, thank you. Willie, thank you. Nani mwingine huyo anajiita kwamba Kenyan Chef, thank you. Nani mwingine anajiita Raj, thank you Raj. Na mwana mwingine hapa anajiita Mike Roddy, thank you 254, thank you 254 for joining up. Na muona nani mwingine huyo anajiita Diego, thank you Diego. Alafu na muona mwingine hapa anajiita Charles Hoga. Thank you for those who are still joining up, for we having a great conversation tonight and having a good conversation to bring our occasion and everything to alignment accordingly and exactly for what we want to or where we want our nation to be and moving on swiftly. I'll be bringing Team TikTok to also contribute to the conversation. But before I do that, let us have this one video first going on. And somebody speak about Gachagua. Gachagua pia tena alijaribu kuongea. Gachagua didn't speak up so much, but there's a lot of controversy whereby the story of Juja MP. This is, I don't know if it's related to Gachagua, but we'll be checking all more details also about that as we are moving on swiftly. So I will begin up the story of I will go for a commercial break. When I come back, we'll come more about the story of Gachagua with the MP Juja.
tonight.
The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political.
Tunaingia vijijini, mijini na hata jijini kukuletea taarifa mchana kutwa. Usiku tunaketi kitako, tunadadavua tukichanganua taarifa na makala muhimu yanayokuhusu wewe na familia yako. Ungana na Bernard Ngozi kwenye Open Forum Political Show kuanzia saa 4 usiku hadi dakika zake kila siku ya wiki kwenye
At Sound Candid Talk, we provide live UHD broadcast for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts.
Marriage is one of life's most monumental decisions. It's not just about the wedding day or the ring, it's about committing your heart, mind, and soul to a lifelong partnership. But here's the big question. Are you really ready? Introducing Are You Marriage Ready? By Bernard Ngozi, a transformative ebook designed to guide you in building a successful and fulfilling union. This essential resource delves deep into personal growth, compatibility assessment, and the true meaning of marriage beyond the fairy tale. Learn how to reflect on your values, develop emotional resilience, and evaluate your relationship to ensure compatibility. This book opened my eyes to areas I needed to work on and helped me see my relationship in a new light. Jessica M. Available now for just $5. Are You Marriage Ready? Is accessible on all major platforms. Don't miss this opportunity to prepare yourself for one of life's most beautiful journeys. Follow the link in the description below to download your copy now. Empower your future. Embrace a fulfilling marriage now.
Watu wa Mungu, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kipindi cha mahubiri kimerudi tena kwa kishindo kwenye Sound Candid Talk. Tunakufundisha, kukuelimisha na kukutia moyo kwenye Daily Bite. Mafundisho kamili ya Biblia kila siku kwenye runinga uipenda ya Sound Candid Talk.
Thank you and welcome back for this segment where we'll be rolling up and down to bring for you everything that has been hitting on the point and everything that is going on for every time. Team TikTok, let us do this. Let us check it out and let us continue sharing our views too. And also Team Facebook, Team YouTube. Team Facebook mnaniango shanga squeezy. I don't know why Team Facebook mulienda wapi, lakini I think he will be coming back. Please let us share the link on Facebook so much. Invite somebody to be part and parcel of this, as if we're having a great conversation and having good time and good vibe together as we're moving on.
Leaders
So,
allied to the form.
They are saying that there are a lot is going on, and I would like to check it out. The story of Gachagua, the former deputy president Gachagua, and the MP, the Juja MP. Let us check out this.
Leaders allied to the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have dismissed claims that Juja MP George Koimburi is staged his own abduction, describing those spreading the allegations as crazy. Speaking at the Curran Hospital, where the MP is reportedly receiving treatment, the leaders accused the Inspector General of Police of targeting them because of their political loyalty to the former Deputy President. Meanwhile, in the National Assembly, the lawmakers' conduct came under sharp focus, with several lawmakers calling for his prosecution if found guilty of staging his own kidnapping. Here's Gatete Njoroge.
An hour after an explosive by Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and DCI boss Muhammad Amin, during which police revealed what they claim staged his own abduction. Leader Allied DSP party leader and former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua fired back, speaking outside Karen Hospital, where they had gone to check on the MP. The leaders dismissed the police narrative, insisting Koimburi is a victim of torture, allegedly at the hands of individuals they suspect to be security officers.
Ako na maumivu, hata asubuhi hii alikuwa amepelekwa scan kwa sababu bado ako na uchungu, hajaweza kuongea, ni mudhaifu, bado hana nguvu hata kidogo. Kwa hivyo niseme wale wanasema Koimburi alijiteka nyara, wa huyo ni mtu hana akili timamu kabisa.
We want you to answer us one question, Mr. IG. Why did you, the security that was assigned to Honorable Koimburi, why are you continuing to withdraw the security of other members of parliament while you are aware that the country has lost one member of parliament?
The group claims the incident is part of a broader political witch hunt, targeting close associates of Rigathi Gachagua, individuals who, despite facing what they describe as intimidation and persecution by the ruling coalition, remain resolute in their push for leadership change ahead of the 2027 elections.
This is purely meant to make sure that our resolve is gone. The DCP party has no elected leaders who are supporters of that party. And the ultimate goal, and we are very much aware, is to arrest Rigathi Gachagua.
As events unfolded in Karen, a parallel scene played out in the National Assembly, where MPs allied to the broad-based government took a firm stance against Juja MP George Koimburi. They called for his prosecution should investigations confirm allegations that he staged his own abduction.
The director of prosecution, the DPP, must do his work. EACC, because of Chapter 6 of our Constitution, must do their work on the matter of ethics of public officers that the Honorable Koimburi has contravened. Our Powers and Privileges Committee, Honorable Speaker, which you chair, must now be seized of this matter and take the necessary action.
It would be very unfortunate after our own member of parliament has been shot dead that you bring theatrics that touch on our security. Today it may be drama, tomorrow it may be a reality.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has directed police to share the findings before the House announces the next course of action.
They're actually
Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
How's the
is cooking because a lot is happening in Kenya and a lot is moving. Sila basi nina mbio. Ukilala ukiamuka unakuta watu walishasonga. Ukibaki nyuma utabaki peke yako. Okay, I just want to take a minute and then later to do this. I want to support Sound Kanji Talk. I know things are tough right now, but I would like we support Sound Kanji Talk, team TikTok, team YouTube, team Facebook. Just get your phone, go to M-Pesa or via any means that you are sharing the support. And just if you're in Kenya, you can use the till number, which is 516575. 51, like the one on the screen, 6575. And for those who are not in Kenya, you can use Bernard's number, which is +254 718 454 8585. And be good. The name is Bernard Makoha. As we are moving on, so the way it's just on the screen, let's just use it and support Sound Kanji Talk, and will be good so that they can continue running the program and it will be fun. So I would like to hear from you, please. Let us do so. Tukiweza kisisi, ukiwa nayo kimia, kichwani, kidola, hizo $50, $100, yote, just send it on the till number or the phone number and it will be good. I just want to hear from you as we are getting the conversation together. I know nyinyi timu ya nguvu na nyinyi mnanipenda. Imagine kukunyonga maji bure, ibambi hata. Na usiku na baridi. But try to keep it up. So tumununulie soda tuweke hapa ndani, tusikunywe nini bure, tusikunywe gas bure, anawa tusikule maji bure. You get at least hata kama ni kakok, mtu alisema kok, ama kapepsi. So just like easy, and also we will be able to pay the bills so that we can move smoothly. We can also pay the tokens, the StreamYard, and it'll be good. Or if you feel like you can just give a contribution by paying for the StreamYard, yeah, just WhatsApp the number, talk to Bernard, he'll direct you how we will do it. And if you feel like you can decide to buy also a lunch or a supper or anything that you feel like, just use the number, call Bernard or inbox Bernard or WhatsApp Bernard, and then give the Bernard the details, and then he will communicate to you and then know how you will arrange everything so that we can move smoothly, and it will be good. So we check out the story of the MP of Juja, and they say that he framed up everything. So I'm not sure, because I'm not the one saying this is the information that I'm getting, and I don't have clarity. But I would like to hear from you. What do you feel? Do you feel this the truth? Do you feel like there's something that's not adding up? Do you feel like there's something that is being hidden from us, or what do you feel about it? I would like to hear from you too, so that we can move on together swiftly, as even listening to your opinions too. Team TikTok, you're doing good, and I'll also be reading some comments shortly. But let us move on swiftly. So they're saying that the MP drew everything. Everything was staged, and nothing was the truth all of what he said. So all of the kidnapping was just staged up. So I'm wondering, so is it true or is it not true? I'm still stuck between, but I'd like to hear your opinions too. Just write it in the comment section. Do you feel it's true or it's not true? Nobody will hurt or nobody will harm you. You just try to listen to your opinions too, and to know, hey, watu wa Juja, mniambie mnahisi kwamba hii ni ukweli ama sio, ama ni aje? Magi, niambie, what do you feel about this? I'm seeing you joining up. Thank you for those who are still joining up on TikTok. Thank you for those still joining up on Facebook. Let us move on to even you share your opinions too, and you share your views too, because the views are good too, and I'd like to hear from them also too, as we are moving on swiftly and smoothly, having a great conversation. I would like also check the story of the same MP. What's going on with him?
Say Juja MP George Koimburi staged his abduction. The police leadership says Koimburi staged a kidnap drama, then retreated to the warmth of a hotel room where he spent the night comfortably, only to carry on with the drama the next day, with the dramatic show of being found in a coffee plantation. The lawmakers' advocates insist that this was no drama. Melita Oletenges reports on the arrest of the 3 associates of the Juja MP and other latest developments on the incident.
Videos that set social media ablaze Monday morning. Juja MP George Koimburi battered and bruised, looking like a victim of serious clobbering. But now the mask has slipped and the honorable member is not so honorable, according to the police.
It is quite inconceivable for a honorable member of parliament to go to that extent of state managing his own abduction.
Let's hit rewind. This was the supposed moment of truth. Koimburi snatched by unknown assailants outside Full Gospel Church in Mugudha in broad daylight. But that suspicious Subaru with the skewed number plate KDQ 803B was just a disguise for the real deal KDG 803B. The vehicle, now impounded by the DCI, belongs to one of Koimburi's close associates, Cyrus Muhia. The police detailing how Koimburi allegedly planned and executed his own abduction.
Cyrus Kiero Muhia stated that on 24th May 2025, he received a call from Peter Kirato, who is also the CDF chairman of Juja, requesting the use of his Subaru Forester.
Cyrus chauffeured 2 abductors to the church, following orders by Peter Kiratu, the CDF chairperson in Juja constituency. Minutes later, Koimburi was wailing and the car sped off, but the plot thickens.
They drove towards Jacaranda Coffee Research via Kabogo Road, where the MP instructed them to stop near awaiting order CRV, registration number KBP 096W. This vehicle belongs to Kerato.
To the police, Koimburi then hopped into the Honda. This Honda, driven by yet another accomplice, Karanja Gatana, and off they went to a hotel. Yes, with these abductors in tow.
Gatana admitted to dropping the MP at a hotel where he had refreshments and spent the night with 2 abductors.
DCI detectives say Koimburi enjoyed a comfortable night in the hotel. The next morning, he was back on the script.
He picked up the MP from the hotel and took him to the scene where they claimed he had been dumped.
He did not suffer any injuries whatsoever, and perhaps he could as well be staying at the KNH hospital enjoying his 5-course meal.
The final act was that of Koimburi's daughter calling her father's allies, announcing he'd been found in the coffee plantation in Kibichoi. The motive of the self-abduction, detectives say, was to dodge an active land fraud case against him and turn up the heat on rising political tensions. From speculation of who is fooling whom between DCI detectives and Juja MP George Koimburi to an expose that details how Koimburi fooled the whole country. A play that was supposed to be suspenseful, conclusive, or even a climax has been botched through intelligence gathered from his aides. The theater is closed with no applause. Melita Oletenge, Citizen TV at the DCI headquarters.
This is what is happening, or this is what is not happening. Please let us be careful and let us be on toes. This is serious. If this such like this gonna be happening, where are we going, like Kenyans? Where are we going as the nation? Please, I would like to hear from you. Just share your opinions too. Share your views too. They matter to me. I would like reading them. I would like to share them. I would like to see them as we are moving on swiftly. But let us take to another level. By I'm seeing my how it's getting crashes so hardly, but I would like to be joining it with Bernard, the next side of the studio, whereby he will be taking us to the next stars. He even speak about the story and Baboy. There's other party died, and now to Leona Juicy, there's a lot of people who are dying now, and the way they die, it is so mischievous, and we can't even explain it. Things happen very fast. We can't even say that hii na hii ndo ilifanyika, hii kafanyika hii, but this is so serious and so it's not good at all, because even watu vitu zingine zikifanyika kwa kweli they not even appealing. They are looking very bad. They are not very well so much. So I would like to hear from the other end. So we are moving on. Don't go away. We are just here until we get matters on the table rightly. As we would bring up everything to the right track, not leaving anything bending. As Kenyans, please, your comments too are allowed to. Please let us continue dropping our comments and let us continue sharing our views too.
At Sound Candid Talk, we provide live UHD broadcasting for church services, talk shows and podcasts, weddings, live bands, products and services launches, webinars and trainings, Zoom meetings, conferences, seminars, exhibitions, and virtual concerts. Tonight.
Basi yule mtoto akasema ile siku moja mimi sijaenda kanisani na Yesu Kristo anakuja.
Because kuleta ndege ya Chief of Defense Forces down is not only negligence but criminal negligence.
Nilikuja hapa hadi ya Gong nikamwambia mchague Ruto. Na mimi naomba msamaha.
Na mchezo huu rais, ni mchezo ambao utakusaidia wewe rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Ni mchezo ambao unakufundisha jinsi vile kufanya kazi.
Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English.
Sasa huyu ndiye nilipiga kofi. Juzi ndio amenipigia simu akaniambia
Tonight. Hii ni Sound Kanti Talk Live.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, open forum political discussion show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, today is a new day, but a sad one indeed after the second cleric of the Catholic Church being slain. And we have communication from the government officials with a promise by President Ruto that all that are committing these heinous crimes will be followed up. And then, of course, that usual rhetoric of leaving no stone unturned. But the Catholic Church is demanding that serious responses should be given and justice should be found for those that are slain in those conflicts that we can't tell whether they are religious or community. But listening to Murkomen and the other players, there is too much politics around it. So I would that we seek to, ask more questions, because I'm not being comfortable with the way Murkomen, being the Minister for Interior, that he's coming to conclusion of cases that are yet to be investigated. You remember the goons that invaded the Gachagua party unveiling. Murkomen was the first one to say that they were part of the mobilization team that Gachagua had not paid. They had come to claim payment. Now, investigation has not started. He's already giving the conclusion. And now on this one again, he's talking about the cattle wrestlers and all that and all that. But all in all, I really would want that as a country, we deserve better. We deserve better, and we need serious people in serious dockets, like internal security. So the security in the country is not very good, and Kenyans are at risk. And when we begin to see those doublespeak and those irresponsible statements, it leaves a lot to be desired, and we feel more vulnerable being in this country because the people who are supposed to ensure that we are safe are playing games with that responsibility of securing every one of us. There's another story of Ugandans, 3 Ugandans who are part of a gang that is terrorizing people, robbing them in their various business places. Now look at that, 3 Ugandans in the country, in Nairobi, robbing. Yeah, I mean, what's cooking with this? What's going on? That a gang exists in Nairobi that has more foreigners than indigenous, and they are bold enough to get in the shop and rob people at gunpoint. So now, you all remember when there was this proposition of Murkomen being Minister for Internal Security. On this platform, I said no. This is from the frying pan into the fire. Now you're beginning to see the fire. 3 Ugandans and 1 Kenyan are able to rob. This is serious. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we start the conversation, please be on the forefront to invite somebody so that we can flow together as we dissect these stories. There are several stories that we'll be looking at as we dissect them and prepare ourselves to be on the cutting edge as far as knowing what we ought to do and how to do it is concerned. So the Catholic leadership locally here are demanding justice for the slain father, Father Alois Bate, and then, of course, the other one, John Maina, the one that was buried yesterday. Now, this is not something that should be taken lightly. I believe that the issue of security needs to be given the required attention. And so we encourage us to come in forcefully and be able to speak up. Then, of course, Kindiki denies bribery claims. You've seen the new move that Kindiki is launching out, so-called empowerment programs, where he's giving millions, and members of parliament are being forced to give 100,000, 200,000 to so-called Mama Mboga groups, youth groups, and all that. Now we have claims that this is a bribery to try and win back the regions that are walking away from UDA. And then, of course, Kindiki says no to the same. So which is which? Is it bribery or is still UDA manifesto implementation? Ningependa mniambie hiyo pia nikaifahamu. Hii ndio kununua wa Kenya tena, kuhadaa wa Kenya tena, ama kuna ukweli katika haya mambo ambayo yanafanyika? And then, of course, I find it very difficult to appreciate that the whole government delights in handouts and keeping the whole of the country on the handout mode when they are actually supposed to come up with policies that set up systems that are going to outlive them in terms of securing the welfare of Kenyans. And so when I see Kindiki and team, claiming that they are helping Mama Mboga, they are helping the women group and the other groups by donating to them, it beats all my understanding. I mean, for how long are we going to be a handout country, and how long are we going to live on a handout economy? It's a sad day if we have the people in the highest office are, reasoning and behaving like Kindiki and team. I also require your input as we continue with this conversation. The link to use to get in the studio is here. Wale mnakuja studio mwai mapema ili tukazungumze masuala haya kwa kina. The other development is about the bench that presided over the wherever the case of Rigathi Gachagua protesting, or rather petitioning against his impeachment. Mother Kome has pulled another one by putting together the same bench and sending Gachagua there. So we don't know which is which. Is this meant to recycle the judges, or the judges are the judges going to come up with a better verdict simply because now it is Mother Kome who has put them together, and the other time it was Felimona who put them together? This is funny games that are being played. I don't know how far they're going. Then, of course, the petition is before the Supreme Court about the election day. Yes, the election date. There is the one that the Constitution has stipulated. It's supposed to be 2026, August. But you have the traditional one that is supposed to be 2027, August. So which is which? And one of the people that are weighed on the matter is Raila Odinga. And he seemed not to be reading from the Constitution. We'll be also playing the video where he urges the Supreme Court not to alter the date for elections and bring it to 2026. I think 2026 is a good date. What is your opinion? Naomba tumakinike, karibisha mtu ili tukaangazie masuala haya as we start with that sad story of the slain priest in Kerio Valley, and then of course how he's being praised as a man of peace. Let's start with the demands by the church.
Catholic Church leaders in the Diocese of Eldoret have called on the government to expedite investigations and arrest and prosecute all those involved with the death of Catholic priest Father Alois Cheriot, who was killed on Thursday in Kabartile village, Marakwet East, Elgeyo Marakwet County. According to the police, the priest, who was attached to the Tot parish, was accosted and fatally shot by armed assailants as he was returning to the parish headquarters from his usual pastoral duties. Now, the church leaders have blamed the government for what they describe as a laxity in addressing security challenges in the Kerio Valley, further claiming that the priest's killers have not been arrested, contrary to police reports.
Ningeomba serikali ya kwamba wachukulie maanani mambo ya usalama katika ponde la Ufa ama ponde la Kerio. Wachukulie usalama, kwa sababu jana tuliambiwa kwamba wale waliohusika na kifo cha padri wetu wameshikwa, lakini si kweli. Hiyo si kweli. Walioshikwa ni tofauti na wale waliohusika na kifo. Tunaambiwa kwamba wao wanajulikana, wao wanatembea, hatujui wanatembea wapi, wanaishi wapi, lakini watu wanasema kwamba waliohusika na kifo cha padri hawatashikwa.
Haya, ukistaajabu ya Musa utaona Firauni. Serikali inasema imewakamata, kanisa linasema wale mliokamata sio hao. Ni kipi hiki kinachoendelea katika injili? Mtanisaidia. Wewe unaonaje? Walioshikwa ni wale ama kuna wengine? No, I find that to be very, not even sarcastic. It is, I'll call it childish. Childish in the sense that mtu amekufa, alafu ile effort ambayo inatolewa kushughulikia hilo swala ama kutafuta wale wahusika. Sababu ya kushika wahusika sio tu kwa adhibu. Sababu ya kushika wahusika ni kutoa watu ambao ni waovu katikati ya wananchi, ili wananchi wakuwe salama. So sio swala ambalo tutaanza kutafutia muda, tutaanza kufikiria kulihusu, tutaanza kuwa na vikao kwa hilo. Kama swala kama hili limetendeka na linahitaji kushughulikiwa moja kwa moja, we need to be seeing heads rolling. We need to be seeing action taking place. Not this double speak that the church says they have information that the people that were arrested are not the ones, and those that did the act are free. They are walking around. So which is which? And for how long are we going to be having this kind of circus when lives are being lost? Do you see? So I really would want us to seriously ask hard questions to Murkomen and team. What are they doing in terms of getting this matter addressed rightly and getting justice for the slain, as well as arresting the situation of insecurity? I mean, this is the same place, same region where the CDF died. Okay, and we are talking about a year and something ago. So if the place is still volatile now, a year later, are we really doing something about security, or we're just playing games? I mean, I can't help but remember the Moi administration. If there is anything that Moi did not play with, was matter security. And anytime there was a threat to the security situation, there was action, there was serious movement in terms of ensuring that the situation is arrested within the shortest time possible. So how can we, a year later, we lost the CDF, and then a year later, we're now losing the father, the priest in the same region, in those unclear circumstances? What is your take on this? To me, mimi naona ni uzembe na utepetevu, ama kuna wale ambao wanafurahia kutokuwa na usalama katika sehemu fulani, kama vile inavyosemekana kuna sehemu fulani ambayo kuna madini yanayochimbwa, na hayo madini basi ni ya muhimu na inachimbwa na wageni, yani foreigners. So ili kufacilitate kwamba hiyo ukora wote ufanyike, usalama wa hiyo section hauwezi kufanya nini, kudhibitiwa, because it will interfere with the lucrative business of looting the resources that belong to Kenya. It's sad that we even defend foreigners and do what, protect people that are not supposed to be protected at the expense of those we need to be protecting. Na hizo ni tuhuma tu, lakini ningependa tuangazie hili swala vizuri. Hii swala la security linakaaje? Ni Murkomen hafanyi kazi, polisi hawafanyi kazi, nchi haiko tayari kulinda na kuhakikisha usalama wa kila Mkenya? Or where is the problem? Is it in policy? Is it in execution? Is it in deployment? We can't be losing lives just like that, and then we want to say people die and people go. And so we should accept and move on. That accept and move on has been with us for too long. We must get a solution to, we better begin to get a solution to the same, or else it will swallow all of us. Well, thank you for everybody who is coming in. And please, wale wanakuja studio, link mjaiona, na wasubiri tafadhali mwai mapema. Esther Stoll na kuona. Douglas ndio huyo. I to you. Thank you. Tuni Mahmud, our PS, karibu sana. Charles Green, we salute you. Thank you so much. Naomba tumakinike kuingia studio. Furaha na kuona hapo. Karibu. Hello to you. Douglas hapa nasema it is a coincidence that Hanifa and Boniface, the rest was behind the Gen Z, and they want to destabilize Tanzania. Hii ni tuhuma yako tu bwana Douglas. Na makosa gani if they were behind the Gen Z? The Gen Z are Kenyans, and the Kenyans are free. We are a free country where we can protest anything we don't like about the government. It's our right to protest about it. And the constitution says we do that. It is wrong for us to fail. So kama ni Khalifu, Boniface were behind the Gen Z, or the Gen Z went out by themselves, whatever took them out should be what we need to address. Na hii ndio njia moja ambayo maswala mengine ambayo yananiudhi sana. Wakati swala ni wazi tu, lile ambalo linakera wa Kenya ni hili, lakini tuna avoid kuliaddress. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu tunataka kutafuta kijisababu. The Kenyans went out to protest on valid issues: the high cost of living, mismanagement of public resources, the buoyant display of wealth by those closer to power. Wale walikuwa wanatembea na milioni 20 na milioni 200. I mean, wakijiona kwamba wakionyesha Wakenya wanalala njaa, lakini hawa wanatembea na milioni 20 kana kwamba ni shilingi 10. And then all those things, came together, and they were a thorn in the flesh of Kenyans. They have not been sorted out. And then we want to conveniently now begin to look for somebody to blame and say he was the one who pushed the Gen Z to come out. It is the mismanagement of public resources, is the bad governance, it is the poor allocation of resources that is pinching Kenyans. And Kenyans will express themselves when they are being pushed. Let's not assume that somebody has to come and incite people for them to go to the street. Kama kiatu kimekufinya unyamaze. I mean, hata ukivumilia hauwezi kuvumilia milele, utapasa sauti eventually. And so hii maswala ya kuona kwamba the activists ndio wana destabilize Tanzania niliwaambia hapa jana, tena nitarudia, kama Suluhu na grupu yake hawatakuwa na kikao cha kukubali kwamba muda umeyoyoma na mabadiliko lazima yakubaliwe katika nchi hiyo, basi hao ndio watakuwa wa kwanza kuonyeshwa mlango, na sio mbali kutoka sasa, because when the wind of change is blowing, you better flow with it, or else you'll be a victim of the same. And so from the way they have responded to the activists, it is clear to the whole world that there are human rights abuses in Tanzania. And the moment that is established by the international community, you know what follows. You know what follows. And don't forget, Tanzania is full of those minerals, and the West are hunting for those minerals, okay, with everything they are and everything they have. And so they will use that opportunity to get in. And instead of the activists, they will be the ones pushing for regime change. So CCM isipokubali na kuhakikisha kwamba inafungua nafasi ya vyama vingine kukua na siasa ya Tanzania kufunguka kabisa, hao ndio watasababisha hiyo regime change in Tanzania. Haitahitaji hata activists, kwa sababu their behavior has shown it. Their behavior has shown it. You don't mistreat people like that, you know, as if you're above the law. There are international laws that are applicable in every nation, and it's when it comes to human rights issues, that is top priority. And so Tanzania Nyerere sio Tanzania ya leo. Lazima mabadiliko yakubalike. Hii maneno ya the way things were, so they shall be, world without end, amen, it will not be business as usual. And so and that also applies to Kenya. That also applies to Kenya. The Gen Z protest proved that people united cannot be defeated. You need to write that down and you know, understand and appreciate it. You can't push people, you can't oppress them forever, and you can't you know, deny them their rights forever. Watafika mahali watakukeukia. Ni kama paka ambayo umemfanya nini? You have cornered it. You have cornered the cat and has no escape route. Bounce on you, and that is what is happening. So let's stop the excuse of saying ati kuna watu ambao lazima wafanye nini, lazima wachochewe ndio wasimame kinyume na serikali ama waprotest kinyume na serikali. Muda mwingine haihitaji hiyo, muda mwingine haihitaji hiyo. Ni wewe usipokukaa vizuri katika na uhakikishe kwamba uongozi wako unafungua nafasi ya wengine. Hata katika, I think there is the art of war, okay? There's a book called The Art of War, and then of course the general application of fighting. When you go to attack and you have besieged the enemy, you are not supposed to seal all the doors. A good general and a good war strategist, when you have cornered the enemy, you know, is pushed in the corner, you must always provide a way of escape. Provide for them a way of escape is part of the war strategy. Lakini ya kufungia milango kila mahali ati umewapata, they can choose to fight to their last man. And then, of course, you will multiply victims. It would have been better if you let them have an escape route. And so, as we look at on these matters, let's look at them holistically, and then, of course, be able to judge them in the required light. But what's going on in Tanzania, those human rights abuses are going to result into what is not Tanzania. Na hiyo ni maoni yangu tu. Unajua Tanzania ile tunajua na ile Tanzania ambayo Watanzania wanajua okay, ni tofauti. Kuna nani huyu jana mtu akanitumia clip ya mtu akasema I don't know, I think I should get that clip to play. Yeah? Akasema hiyo statement ilisemwa na Jomo Kenyatta. Na okay, I'm a history student, I've never run into that clip. But huyu mtu anadai kwamba ni Kenyatta aliyesema kwamba watu wa Uganda ni wanafanya nini? Wasema ni wagonjwa, okay? Wakipona wanaweza kufanya nini? Kupigana na wakakomboa nchi yao. Na Wakenya ni wale ambao wamelala. Wakiamka tu watasimama na kupigana kukomboa nchi yao. Lakini wa Tanzania hao wamekufa kabisa. Hata ufanye nini, hawezi kusimama kupigania nchi yao. So huyu jamaa kama akisema kwamba Tundu Lissu na wale wote wakereketo wa opposition ya Tanzania ambao wako gerezani ama wanafinywa na vyombo vya usalama vya Tanzania anasema mmejitoa mhanga, mnapigania watu ambao hata hawajali na hata wana haja na kupigania nchi yao. And so we have this scenario whereby people who have already accepted to be oppressed, accepted to be done whatever that they wish to be done against them, and they will not do anything. So huyu jamaa kawa akasema Watanzania ni hatari sana. Mtanzania anakuambia niko nyuma yako, lakini ukigeuka hutamuona. Hutamuona. And so we really need as a people to begin to see things for what they are, not just what we want them to be. That will help us get a lasting solution. And so, Douglas Ben, are you saying Gen Z are not in Tanzania? Wapo, lakini si unajua ni wa Tanzania. Na unajua utanzania ni nini? Sitaki kuingilia sana maswala, nataka restrict myself on the diplomatic approach or rather violations that the Tanzania administration visited on those Kenyan activists and Ugandan activists, and the deportation of Mother Karua, wherever CJ Emeritus Mutunga. Those are serious international law violations that are going to have consequences. And when those consequences come into effect, I would want to see the face of Mama Suluhu akisuluhisha ama akinaswa kwa mambo hayo. But alikuwa anazuia regime change. Hiyo regime change sasa ndio itaitishwa. Na unajua inakuwa tu blanda kidogo tu na inaweza kukost pakubwa. Yeah, because you can't be getting closer to elections and making those kind of blunders. Well, I want us to make progress as we look into this. So the issue of security, I don't think Murkomen is doing enough, and not Murkomen alone. That entire sector of the Kenya government, on matters security, we are very poor on the same. Let's face it, we are not doing well when it comes to security. And that is why the criminals and other elements in our midst are having a free ball, they're having a free field, because wanajua hakuna mtu ako serious na hiyo kazi. And so Murkomen na group yake, and then of course the entire Ruto administration, they need to call themselves a conference on this matter. That is if they are interested in securing the country. But at times, it appears their interest is not in securing the country. They just want to secure the loot. And so if the security of the place is going to stop the looting, they would rather enhance the insecurity other than establish that security as it should be. PK hapa nasema that is why Jomo Kenyatta had that not added. Anataka mtu awe beka kwa beka sio nyuma yake. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there was the ile Jomo Kenyatta alisema wanasiasa wanasema tuko nyuma yako mzee. Tuko nyuma yako mzee, asema sitaki mtu awe nyuma yangu. Kuja tutavuruta pamoja bega kwa bega, sio maneno ya kukaa nyuma yangu. So ndio mambo ilivyo. Ndio mambo ilivyo. And so he really wants us to face things for what they are. And so our security is not good, and that is why we are losing lives unnecessarily. I want us to rush as we look into these videos and move further. Let's just have a memory, or rather. Okay, let's have this fast and then we'll have
tonight is actually pretty jarred. Now tonight, the killing of second Catholic father, Alois Cheriot Bet of the Diocese of Eldoret, has left Kenyans in shock, with various leaders expressing anger over the incident in Tot, Keyo Marakwet County. While condemning the heinous act, President William Ruto described the priest as a peace ambassador and a truthful cleric. And in Eldoret, Auxiliary Bishop John Lele termed the killing as heartbreaking, as the priest had just finished presiding over community prayers. Ken Gashuhi reports.
A man who was down to earth and dedicated to his calling, even in the face of insecurity. That was Father Alois Cheriot Bet of St. Matthias Tot Parish in Elgeyo Marakwet, which is under the Catholic Diocese of Eldoret. He was fatally shot by criminals on Thursday as he walked back to his car after conducting community prayers in Kapkobil area of Tot. President William Ruto on his social media accounts mourned Father Bet as a promoter of peace and genuine in his sermons, vowing that the perpetrators of the cold blood murder would be brought to book.
So it is both a constitutional imperative and it's a political assignment for me.
Eldoret Diocese Auxiliary Bishop John Lele described the killing as heartbreaking, the reason for his shooting remaining unknown.
Hatujui ni kwa nini pia aliwao kwa nini. Aliwao kwa nini. Yeye pengine si mkaaji wa sehemu hiyo. Yeye hana zana kama alikombana na mtu. Kazi yake ni kuhubiri, kutembelea watu. Sasa kifo cha nini? Lakini tumempoteza.
The attack is among other recent killings in the disturbed Kerio Valley region, exposing the government's soft underbelly despite the ongoing multi-agency operation Maliza Uhalifu, with the security apparatus accused of being untruthful on the region's actual situation.
Jana tuliambiwa kwamba wale waliohusika na kifo cha padre wetu wameshikwa. Lakini si kweli. Hiyo si kweli. Walioshikwa ni tofauti na wale waliohusika na kifo. Tunaambiwa kwamba wao wanajulikana, wao wanatembea, wale walioshikwa ni wale tu ambao pengine kwa sababu ya kafyu walipatikana kama wamejelewa hivi, ama pengine walipatikana ni watu wa makosa madogo. Si kifo.
Pictures on social media talk of a humble Father Bet who freely interacted with the poor, the children and the elderly, meeting them in prayer and their needs. Following the incident, Teachers Unions NAT and KUPPET have now announced the withdrawal of their members from the insecurity-prone areas, saying their safety is a priority at a time the government is yet to reopen several other schools closed years ago due to banditry attacks.
Tumekuja kutangaza kufungwa kwa shule yote katika eneo ya Kerio Valley mpaka serikali watoe silaha haramu katika mikononi wa raia. Kuna askari 3 waliuawa juzi ambao hawatoki sehemu hiyo. Jana padri amefuata.
na tunaomba serikali kupitia waziri wetu ambaye ni mtoto wetu Bwana Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen achukue hatua ili wale ambao walihusika wakamatwe na wawekwe ndani.
The burden of the unending insecurity in the North Rift region lying on the shoulders of Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen, who prior to his appointment was fiery on the government, which he accused of facing the other side as innocent people were being killed by criminals in Kerio Valley. Ken Gashohi, KTN.
Okay, masuala ni kama hayo. Walimu na wahusika wa masomo pia wamesema shule zote zifungwe mpaka masuala ya usalama yashughulikiwe. And so these insecurity issues are not going away any soon if no serious input is made. And it beats all understanding where Murkomen is all over the country conducting what is calling jukwaa la usalama. Na inaonekana hili jukwaa la usalama liko na kazi yake isipokuwa ambayo ni zaidi ya usalama wa Wakenya. Because jukwaa la usalama was in Tana River, in Mombasa, I think in the other parts of the country. I thought the place where insecurity is an issue should be priority. Why should we be doing jukwaa la usalama in places where we don't have this kind of cases? And Murkomen being from the wherever the region where the insecurity is high, I thought charity begins at home. He needs to go and set his house in order before he goes to set other places in order. So there is more that we are not being told on this issue, but to me, let's not lose lives carelessly like this. And issues of security should not be subjected to be, reduced to political favors or political goodwill by people. Let it be the right let it be the right that it's supposed to be and be given to Kenyans freely and of course with accuracy. Douglas hapa nasema you are biased in your arguments. Get saved, your arguments are around Ruto. I don't get it. I just gave you scenarios that we can both relate to. Okay? Mimi sijasema kile ambacho akifai, nasema kile kinafaa na kile ambacho kinapaswa kufanyika. Hauwezi kulaumu watu kwa kuprotest kwa sababu wamelipwa kuprotest. Kama kile kitu ambacho wanaprotestia hauja kishughulikia. You cannot be stepping on my toe and asking me to smile. You step further and you press harder and you tell me to smile. And then if my neighbor says, why are you smiling when you're being stepped on? Then you say my neighbor is inciting me to protest that you are stepping on my toe. Are you being serious? So the oppressor is oppressing. Then you are saying it is my neighbor who is inciting me to protest that nafinywa. Hapana. So hiyo ndio kutafuta sababu ya kuendelea na maovu kinyume na wengi wa Kenya, and all of it is the pretext that I'm more used to saying in opposition. In opposition. Sasa sai imekuwa sasa ni wageni au imekuwa ni activists. Hapana, let's address issues. Wakenya wanahitaji masomo, wanahitaji security, wanahitaji chakula, wanahitaji usalama, wanahitaji kuishi kwa sehemu ambayo wanafurahia. Let that be the priority of the government, not these games of playing politics with the safety and the progress of our people. And so I will never buy into that notion that Kenyans must be incited or people must be incited to go and protest. Every protest has a reason. And if you want the protest to end, address the reason. Look at our doctors. They go on the street every time they want something done. Why should that be the case? The same with the nurses, the teachers and all that. We can't be having this recurring if we have a serious government that is indeed given in solving what bedevils this country. And so I would, Douglas, put it back to you that you don't need incitement to ask for fairness. You don't need incitement to ask for what is rightfully yours. So tuache kuchezea Wakenya na tuache kuangalia kuongea kana kwamba Wakenya ni wajinga sana mpaka mtu atoke nje akuja waambie wananyimwa. Na shida ya Wakenya ni moja, wamekuwa na serikali tofauti, so they can easily compare. When you are giving them a raw deal, they can easily tell, because walikuwa hapa na Jomo Kenyatta, kuna wale ambao walikuwa hapa na Moi, wale wamekuwa na Kibaki, wakawa na Uhuru. So they will always compare and contrast. Nenda kukutana na mama wote au mama wa Marigiti na wote watakwambia time ya Uhuru haikukuwa hivi, time ya Kibaki haikukuwa hivi, time ya Moi haikukuwa hivi. They are able to compare and tell. Kuna mtu ambaye hafanyi kazi na kuna mtu ambaye amefanya nini? Amekuwa mzembe katika kutekeleza wajibu wake. So I don't think we are that naive to wait for somebody to come and incite us, as much as facilitation and of course protests are organized, but reasons for protesting, in fact, they were valid and they still remain valid. And until that is addressed, it doesn't matter how much the government avoids it. It doesn't matter how much the government ignores. It will eventually address it. Kumbuka vile walisema finance bill itapita na itakuwa implemented na mtanyamaza. Mlisikia Osoro akiongea, lakini maji yalipozidi unga walikunywa uji. Ndio hivyo. So kama tunataka kuendelea pasipo kuzuiwa na wananchi wa Kenya, tutekeleze yale ambayo wananchi wa Kenya wanauliza. Na sua haya mambo yanayoulizwa ni yale ambayo katiba imepeana. Okay? If the constitution has given, why are you resisting it? Facilitate it and let things move. Well, let's keep moving. Thank you so much for staying tuned as we continue with this conversation. Nasubiri wale ambao mnataka kuchangia kwa studio, muwai mapema. Masaa ndio hayo. Tumeanza kuchelewa, lakini naamini kwamba tutashughulikia masuala yote. Okay. Let's keep moving as we settle with that Father Alois. Let me just play there's a classic video when he spoke in the presence of William Ruto in I think it was a peace prayer something, and this is what he said, and then from there we can now switch gears to look for Kindiki na hongo lake.
Reverend Father Alois ili aweze kutupatia last remarks.
Your Excellency, the President, CS presence, the county governments, our bishops, and all the Christians here. Ojamage, tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Oi, gibay-bayin, ingoroni. Maya, lapkei tai. Your Excellency, we want to believe that your coming here is a sign of blessing and the sun that is now rising and the valley will be peaceful. I want to thank Reverend Bishop for giving us a very strong message. We have always known that the disarmament is done by the police. Nakumbe, the real disarmament is done by the preachers and the pastors and the clergy. Because these are the people who will disarm the heart and the mind. Hata akipewa bunduki atakuwa peaceful. So we want to appreciate your leadership and your support
for those who disarm the heart and the mind. Allow me, Your Excellency, to pass a message of gratitude from the churches in Kerio Valley. I won't mention all of them because wote wamesema asante. Allow me to mention only one, Sangaj Fellowship. That's saying, they have said. I want also to pass a message of gratitude from the people of Litel. Some years ago, tulipata floods. Na serikali iliyokuwa na ulikuwa ndani, tulipata shule ilichengwa, na sasa watu walifurahi sana. Walifurahi sana. And all the churches down here, they are saying, data isagubesho. Amu gaya guerbatie nebunugeyo. Asagobit kobi galia tengai aperuruagi tukul. With that, allow me to give just a small request. The clergy in this Kerio Valley have a mission to disarm the heart and mind. And every month we meet for that disarmament. We converge in a designated point. We go and pray. We go and minister to the people and speak to their hearts and mind. Lakini changamoto sometimes ko yaje get kelda kabisa. Gipkeito ko kikochile kweyot ngelen keleji mutyo biik che koumionso keleji ne chacheget mutyo. So they are requesting if we can be assisted so that we may move freely. And even those vehicles, when we have a meeting like this, they will even assist the people to come together and pray together. Number two, these churches down here, in as much as we preach peace, we also assist those who are less fortunate. We have churches like AIC in Aror who are supporting the orphans in education. We have Baptists here in Tots who are also doing the same. We have also a small home in Baringo, yeah? Yes? KNH, yeah, that name, KNH also. And they are doing a great job in supporting those who are less fortunate. We ask and we want to appreciate the government because they are really concerned with those who are less fortunate. If we support the mission of this clergy in disarming the heart and mind and also supporting those who are less fortunate, it will be of great support for the kingdom of God. Lastly, through the people of Kerio Valley, especially this region where we are taught, and the leadership of Elgeyo Marakwet, they saw it wise that the bishop opens a new parish here in Tot to minister to the people of Tot in a closer way. And the bishop accepted, and on last month, a new parish was erected here. The bishop told governor, and I'm sorry to mention governor, he says, I'm giving you a priest. Now, where the priest lives and how the priest moves, ni wewe governor. So huyo padri alifika, ako hapa, na bado anaangalia governor. Siku ingine governor aliambiwa, wachana hiyo gari yako ya gurudumu kubwa, ndio upitie Mugunde father aweze kutembelea watu. So these people are requesting if the priest can be supported also here with a vehicle, it will be of great help. Asante sana. Ara nungele tulgongoi. Kongoi amu kainyo itagat kogeng.
Okay, that is the slain Reverend Father, and I'm happy Mami is here. Utatufafanulia ye lugha imeongea ingine ya deep sana. How are you, Mami?
I'm fine. It is really very sad. Ni ngumu sana kuona mtumishi wa Mungu akienda hivyo. Alikuwa naongea kuhusu mambo ya amani. Alikuwa anamwambia rais asante kwa sababu umekuja. Nafikiria makanisa wamefanya kazi ngumu kutoa mapunduki. And ni kama walikuwa wameanza kuhusishana, wakaita makanisa, akasema wanaondoka na mahali wanakutana, saa zingine ni watu wajui. So nafikiria walikuwa wamefanya kazi mingi Penat, ile maybe watu wengi wa kufurahia, ama wale wanaitwa nani hawa sasa, wale walifu, kwa sababu vile alikuwa naongelesha rais, alikuwa na mshukuru na kumwambia vile umekuja, mambo yatapatilika katika Kerio Fare. Na nafikiri tangu wamefanya kazi kubwa sana kutoa hiyo mapunduki. Na ukikumbuka wakati ya Moi, wakati ya Lototo, wakati ya kuna commissioner alikuwa anaitwa nani, aliuawa, ila alishutiwa kwa juu. But kwa surprise yangu mahali ameuawa Marakwet, wakati hiyo ingine ilikuwa ni Pokot na Turkana. Pia Marakwet wako na hiyo mambo. So na mambo ya kanisa, unajua kuna watu wana resist, hawataki mabadiliko, wanataka kuendelea na mambo yao ya utamaduni. So sana mambo ya Catholic waendangi against mambo mingi na watu. So ni pole sana wameua father, na kulingana na vile hiyo mambo yote aliongea, tena ni uchungu sana. Saa zingine mtu akitaka kuondoka ni kama anajua. Ukisikiza ile mambo alikuwa nasema, tena ni kama alikuwa amechua siku zake ndio hiyo. So it is so sad. Na kitu ingine pena, kama nchi imeanza kukua insecurity kila mahali. Sasa huyu ni referent ya pili. Kuna ule alikuwa Nyandarua, sasa huyu ni wa pili. Nilisikia Chen Kiara pia akisema security yake, kuna hiyo ya Were. So when the country is like that, Penat, insecurity iko mingi. Nasikia umeongea mambo ya Uganda, kuna watu wameingia Kenya wanafanya uhalifu. Umeongea mambo ya Tanzania, but all in all, rudisha hiyo mambo wakati ile ilikuwa insecurity ya viongozi yote wameenda wakati ya shida kama hii. Pena things are not right. Mambo ikikaa hivi, kuna mambo kubwa itatokea. Inakuanga ni kama kutest the water, ni kama kutupia mawe. Samani walikuwa nasema ukitaka kujua kama maji iko mbali, unatupa mawe. Ukisikia inafanya, sijui ilikuwa inafanya, unajua hiyo maji si mbali. So I think where our country is for now is not good, Penat. Naona mambo mingi, naona watu wameenda kotini kwa mambo ya election ya next year. Naona baba ameongea. So kuna insecurity, kuna mambo mingi Kenya saa hii huwezi jua. Ingine niliona rais alikuwa Kibira. Naona hiyo naitwa nini hiyo manyumba. Kuna mambo mingi Penat. So in case kuna mambo ya serikali na kuna watu pia wale wanaona hawataki country wakuwe stable. So mahali tuko ni ngumu, because kweli pia mimi nilikuwa nikaona nasema kama hii mambo ya manyumba kweli inakuwa sawa, unless wakose kupatia wananchi wa hiyo sehemu, hapo ndio shida itatokea. Lakini hizo manyumba yote ikitengwa Penat na wananchi wapate, kama sasa Kibira nasikia wamemaliza karibu 4,000, kuna ingine sijui ngapi, kuna ingine inatengenezwa. So kama hii mambo itasunguka Kenya mzima, kuna watu watasikia vizuri, kwa sababu hii ni wakati ya tuko na 1 year. So nchi haiko sawa, kuna wachochezi. Ile kitu nitakwambia, serikali ama token ya internal security inatakikana apate mtu strong, otherwise kucover our country ni ngumu. Na mbaya ni vile tumeingiza maadui neighbors. Kwanza hiyo ya Uganda, na nitakuhakikishia it is not raia. Hawa ni wale wanatumika kwa serikali ya Museveni kuua watu yake. So kama mumeletewa Kenya, iko shida. Nao ndio hii tumeanza tena na Tanzania. So I think Bernard, tuombe Mungu. Na sasa kama ni kuomba Mungu pia, watumishi wetu wanachukuliwa kwa njia hiyo, na hata ichapatikana watu wameua, unasikia wanasema, na wanajua, ukisikia wanasema wale wameshikwa ni layman's, but the real people are still out there. So who are these real people? Ile Kasipul member of parliament pia wanasema the ringleaders are still outside, ingawa wameshika wengine. Hii ya father ya Nyeri, nani alipanga? So I think kuna mambo mingi Bernard ya insecurity. Badala ya mambo mingi tujaribu kuona nchi kwanza kama itakuwa stable. Na ikianza kuwa mchafuko hivi Bernard, na wewe unajua nchi yetu, tell me now towards 2027. Na ile mambo Gachagua alisema, naona imeenea sana. Nilikuwa naona mbunge ya Nakuru Kikaria na watu wengi sana wamejitokezea kuinterpret hizo mambo. So the country, ukweli sasa tuwache kila kitu kando, kama ama hata baba watusaidie ama wasaidie Kenya, because they are the loving Kenyans, wapate mtu mwenye anaweza ingia kwa hiyo security. Bernard, things are not good. Inji ikikawanya na hivyo ni mbaya. So tuko na new parties, tuko na wale wanatoka chama hii wanaenda chama hii. Kuna ile watu wengi sahi wanajua hawawezi rudi kwa sababu ya vale mambo inafanyika Kenya. So I think Bernard, the country is not safe. We are not safe. Kwanza kama mambo ya majirani, Uganda unasikia wanafanya crimes, wako hapa wanasaidiana. Tanzania ndio hawa tunachokosana. So where is safe in our country? Ma reverends ndio hawa wanapotea, ma MP. Sasa Chen Kiara analia. So kwangu mimi, unajua Bernard, kuna tofauti. Wale watu wako hapa Kenya sasa, watu wengi karibu 70% hawajui mambo ya history na wajui mambo wanaangalia kutoka, wengine wanaanzia 2013 na kukuja mbele, wengine wameanzia 2017 na wengine hata wanaanzia 2022. But Bernard, kurudi nyuma, wewe kama ni mtu mzima kuliko vile huko, ukirudi nyuma na ukumbuke mambo imefanyika Kenya nyuma, you will be worried person. Kwa sababu watu wengi wajui mambo, wanakimbilia tu, and then tumechificha na constitution. Na tunachukua watu hawajui experience, now they want to run on it. Mambo ilikuwa ni kukalia chini Bernard na kuangalia. So for me, nafikiria mambo si mzuri. To what I see, tukishinda hiyo minister akishindwa kurekebisha mambo, na pia ni yeye ni mtu ya kupiga mdomo na yeye anaongea, Bernard, I'm worried where we are going ni ngumu. Thank you.
Okay, asante sana mami, we appreciate that good overview, and we hope that suluhu litapatikana. And so kuna vile ambavyo ili swala la security alipewi nafasi ya kutosha ama umuhimu wa kutosha katika kuhakikisha kwamba nchi nzima inakuwa salama. And then of course the Ministry of Internal Security peke yake haitoshi kwa sababu inafanya kazi na different sectors za same government like immigration. So these foreigners wale wanakuja wanapita wapi? Na immigration inapaswa kuhakikisha kwamba our borders are not porous and we don't have strangers in the country who can pose a security threat. But what we are being treated to is just, I think, politics. And Murkomen seems to be more in for politics than service for the country and for the betterment and the welfare of Kenyans. And sioni akifanya hela anapaswa kufanya. We need a level-headed person and somebody who is committed to see to it that our going out is safe and our coming in is safe. Naomba tushughulikie hili swala la constitution alafu tumalize na Kindiki na bribery tunapo angazia masuala haya. Let's see what Raila said about the constitution alafu constitution Supreme Court petition about elections 2026 instead of 2027.
ODM leader Raila Odinga wants the Supreme Court to dismiss a petition seeking to have the next presidential election on the second Tuesday of August 2026 instead of August 2027. Odinga says the petition by lawyers Owiso, Ashioya Biko, and activist KNH Khalifa is an abuse of the country's court process since the matter has been previously severally addressed and that the 2027 date is the rightful date. And TV's Ibrahim Karanja begins our broadcast tonight.
The past few weeks have seen an intense public debate on interpretation of the constitutional date for the next general election. Some quarters argue that the constitutional requirement to have a presidential election once on the second Tuesday of August in the fifth year places the next general election in August 2026 and not August 2027 as is widely expected and accepted. Consequently, three Kenyans, lawyers Dr. Owiso and Ashioya Biko and activist KNH Khalifa approached the Supreme Court in April 2025 seeking a determination on the precise date of the next presidential election. They say that conducting the next election on any date other than the second Tuesday of August 2026, which is the fifth year following August 9th, 2022, would amount to an unconstitutional extension of President William Ruto's term. And now, ODM leader Raila Odinga wants the matter dismissed, maintaining that the rightful date for the next general election is August 2027, not August 2026. In documents filed in court through his lawyer Paul Mwangi, Odinga, who is listed as an interested party in the matter, says the petition is an abuse of the country's court process and that the apex court does not have authority to address the question. Raila says that the issues raised in this petition are res judicata, as the question of the date of the general election in general and the computation thereof has already been heard and determined on merits by various courts. Odinga has cited previous instances when such a matter came up during previous attempts by 6 individuals, among them Busia Senator Okiya Omtata and former nominated Senator Paul Njoroge, as the moment in which the matter was resolved. He has further opposed the continuation of the matter at the Supreme Court, citing lack of jurisdiction, saying that the general election does not only relate to the president, but also apply to all the other elective posts, including Member of Parliament, Senator, woman representative, governor, and member of the county assembly. And thus, the move by the petitioners to move to the Supreme Court for interpretation is premature. According to the ODM leader, who has been a constant participant in all the presidential elections since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, the Court of Appeal conclusively dealt with the matter when it found that a definite and predictable election date, which is the second Tuesday in August of every 5th year, was intended to champion Article 38 of the Constitution, which provides for political rights of the citizens. Meanwhile, the Attorney General has been granted 3 days to file her objection to the petition and furnish the parties with the same. The matter has also drawn businessman and politician Jimmy Wanjigi, listed as an interested party. Wanjigi supports the petition and wants the court to address it, saying that the current state of ambiguity arising from divergent interpretations of Article 136 sub-Article 2A of the Constitution creates a constitutional vacuum that only an authoritative and final interpretation from the Apex Court can fill, and that without such a clarity, the entire electoral cycle, from voter registration to candidate nominations and campaign planning, remains in limbo, affecting millions of Kenyans. This matter, now active before the Apex Court, is one of the key headaches that the new IEBC commissioners will have to urgently deal with if and when they get in office. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.
Okay, sorry, there you have it. Maswala yanakuwa hivyo. Mami, you have a comment on that briefly before we bring in Lala?
Hi, Bernard. Now, sisi tulikuwa tumesema hii mambo kwa hii channel na tukauliza ile katiba ya kwanza. Na wakati mambo iliharibika kukuwa na election mbili in 2017, nafikiri ile calendar sijui kama ili kwa sababu tungefanya 2012 ikafanywa 2013, alafu sasa ikafanywa 2017. So now I don't know hata kama ni lazima ile shida wanasema is the beginning ya 5th year. So na ni Tuesday, lakini kulingana na vile mambo hiyo ilikuwa imeenda kotini na vile sasa Paul Mwangi ameingia na baba pia ako na swali. So kama lazima tufanye 2026, kama itakuwa imefika 5 years ama ni 4 years, Bernard?
Ninakuwa 4 years as in kulingana na the expressed wordings za constitution, ni kusema uchaguzi wa urais utafanyika Tuesday ya pili ya August in the 5th year, not after 5 years, in the 5th year, and that 5th year begins August of 2026.
So are we in Kenya? Hii ni kumaanisha tumekuwa tukifanya uchaguzi ya rais na all other elections. So kama ni 4 years, tunataka kwenda kama ile ya Amerika, ya kwamba sasa kama ni election ya rais, itakuwa ni ya rais peke yake, ama it is a general election, because Kenya haijai experience election ya rais. Tunafanyanga all elections. So which one are we going now? Are we going for the general election, ama tunaanzisha ama tunafuata vile katiba ingetutaka tufanye, ya kwamba election ya rais inatakikana iwe tofauti and then ikuje election ya hiyo watu wengine? Because Bernard, kama tungefanya election ya rais peke yake, kuna watu wengi wamekuwa wakijificha kwa machama na kujificha kwa rais. So kama itakuwa ni lazima iwe election ya rais, alafu hiyo ingine ifanywe baadaye, I think Kenya tukifika hapo tunaweza kuwa tutaamua mambo mazuri. But my problem is this: are we going to do election ya president peke yake, ama it is all general election? Wacha niwachie Lala.
Okay, thank you, Mami. Good question indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue to engage, please kuwa mstari wa mbele kulike video, kushare na kukaribisha mtu. Na kama hujapiga kura yako, piga kura yako. Leo tulikuwa tunazungumza kuhusu serikali inafanya ya kutosha kupeana usalama kwa viongozi wa dini ambao wanafanya kazi katika sehemu ambazo kuna shida ya usalama. You give your answer, give the video the thumbs up as we proceed. Reverend Lala, there you have it. How is it going?
Salama sana ndugu Bernard na mama Selina. Ni vyema siku ya leo. Ningependa kusema kidogo kuhusu usalama. Usalama ni kitu muhimu zaidi kwa serikali yote. Historically hata zamani mpaka wakati huu, kitu cha kwanza ni kabisa ni usalama. Hata kings wa zamani, wafalme na leaders, ilikuwa mtu anaweza kufanya nini? Kuprotect watu. Ndio ulikuwa anapewa hiyo kazi ya kuongoza watu. Sasa usalama ni kitu muhimu kabisa. Maana kama kuna usalama, basi you don't have a government. In fact, the primary job ya serikali is making and enforcing law and protecting citizens, property na vitu vyao, the things that belong to the constituents, ni kazi ya serikali. That's why we have a government. So kama watu wanawawa, nasikia makanisani, yani ile free speech, manake kazi ya mchungaji ni kufanya nini? Kuongoza watu, and in most cases to speak for the Lord and speak truth. So hiyo pia ina curb the freedom of speech. How do you go to a place where and preach and know that utafika nyumbani utawawa? So vile mama Selina amesema, ni nchi yetu imekuwa mahali pabaya sana sana sana, na lazima kitu kifanyike. Sijui kama kupata mtu in your docket ya usalama itasaidia, na itasaidia kidogo, lakini kila ambacho ya kutusaidia ni ukweli, na tena kila Mkenya ajue kwamba hii nchi yake, na kama ni nchi yake lazima all of us must be on the watch, looking for a leaf, so that we report them. We make sure that bad guys, bad elements are not hawatakuuzwa in our community. One of the things I respect Kagame for, nasikia his own brother amefanya nini, is in jail because alifanya nini? Alifanya alitenda dhambi against the nation, disobey the law, and so it's almost like it's not harboring uhalifu. Lakini Wakenya wakubwa, wale ukubwa wetu, they tend to protect their own. So it is really the interest ya Wakenya. Interest ya Kenya ya kwanza kabisa ni what they get out of a job. It's about mfuko yao, your pockets. They want to feel it. And by the time you're feeling it, security is going haywire, because securities require you to work 24 hours. 24 hours. I like Kaiseri. I knew him in person. He would call me maybe at 5 in the morning, okay? Knowing that maybe I have something that might assist, you know. So this is a guy who was always on the lookout to make sure that we are safe. And so I think we must have people at the top who know what they're doing, number one. Number two, they must be professionals, you know, who are clean. Yani, I wanna all close it filled with many things. Because you see, if somebody's at the top leading in that docket or any docket without with a dirty hand, what they're doing is they're just attracting the dirty guys to do the same thing because they also want to get up there. So how these people got up there, they know was not the right way. So we are basically attracting matope, mengi. We are attracting chaff. We are attracting bad element. We are attracting thieves. We are attracting robbers. And the sad thing nowadays, our time, ni kwamba, yani kama kuna walifu in the country, in attract not just walifu within the country, lakini even the bad guys out there with dirty money, they want to bring it through Kenya and they'll figure a way how to protect their wealth in Kenya. Okay, so we are collapsing our borders, our hizo mpaka zetu zinakuwa collapsed because these days you can't put a wall there. There's so many ways to come in by air, by sea, electronics, jamming, phone and all that. Walifu inafanyika by remote control, radicalization of people, paying people to do certain things. I can sit here where I'm sitting and I pay somebody there to do bad things for me. So it's almost like you're collapsing the wall. So we must construct a country ambayo ina nidhamu. I think that's the word, with fear of evil, that we don't want evil, that we don't want to touch evil. We want good for our people, and we are example of it. I think that, as I stated yesterday, I gave an example of a kid that wants a gun and a woman, you see, and that's what they see. People will do what they experience. Apples don't fall far from the tree. Oranges and mangoes don't fall far from what? From the tree, from the stem. Utaona pale ukienda pahali ambapo utaona mangoes nyingi, unaangalia juu kama kuna mango tree hapa. Na hiyo ndio shida yetu kama wa Kenya. So as much as we want to see things change, but if we are protecting within ourselves evil around us, then the automatically what we see is the result. Yes, hakuna ukianza kuona watu wana target kanisa, then things are really bad. Okay, they're really bad because no fear of God is gone. Sometime in the past, I remember, and I'm home. When it comes to the things of God, watu don't touch. They may not be Christian, they may not, but they just respect the things of God. Men of God, women of God, they were safe, very much safe. But now to hear them getting killed, and by the way, we also had a minister, I think we watched him pray, I think during Ruto's visit, that guy was also killed, one of the, in Omabe, and very recently. So there are many things are going on, which are worrisome to all of us as Kenyans. So security is definitely needed, but it needs to be done in every area. Finally, the story of I think the last I think I lost the trend of my thought. What was the last thing you guys mentioned? We're talking about.
The constitutional provision about
yes.
elections.
I think that needs clarification. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, but I think there's a need for clarification, whether it is 26 or 27, because if we are not clear on it, people will die, because number one, there are those that will insist and start doing things pretty early, and then things don't happen in 2026 and then 2027, and then you create that election, anxiety that covers a longer period of time. And for Kenya, one of the issues which I think we must talk about, the reason why there are killings and all these terrible things, one of the reasons is that the economy is not working for all of us, for most of us, except for that few people who are connected with the government. So as long as we don't keep people nets or fish hooks to go and fish, as long as we are not supporting the common person who is stuck, who has actually listened to the government, did exactly what they were told. Peleka watoto wenu shuleni, wamepeleka watoto shule. Invest in agriculture. They tried. At the end of the day, nothing is coming back. They gave, but there's nothing coming back. In other words, you invested in a what? In a business that is losing. Okay? So you dumped everything. And then now you are being told, given this kind of all these promises. So people, the mindset is, we can't believe you. You've tricked us. You've robbed us. We see you flying these planes all over and making all these promises. So these are people who are genuinely grieved. And Kenyans are poor. I'm a pastor. I worked a little bit, not my time, in Pokot. And I went to Ziolo and all that. You see how Kenyans live, Baringo and all. I mean, there is a problem. And these people, knowing I was there many, many years back, but knowing that nothing has changed, seeing the index and how people live, violence is automatic unless we do something to help or to assist, to provide for these people a sense of hope. Whatever we are doing will be useless, as Mama Selina stated, that something bad, is going to happen. So it's upon all of us, and so to preach good governance, because with good governance, then you can have development. Watu watapeleka watoto wa shule, wengine watapata kazi, biashara itaanzishwa, na there will be a good feel in the nation. But to expect people to believe you when already what you've done is to cause them to lose confidence by your actions, stealing, and to show them, all you're demonstrating or showing us is your wealth. And we know that wealth did not come from you. It's from the government. It's being stolen. We know your salary. Okay? We know how much they make. And Marcelina and I live in here, and possibly we make more than some of those guys. But what they own, what they have, it doesn't matter how much you invest, you cannot even reach a half of what they do in how they make that money. And when we look at the business environment in the country, it cannot support that kind of lifestyle. No, that is stolen money from Wananchi. And so people are tired. So we know why there is violence. We know why people are uneasy. And so anything that interferes with even the electoral timed calendar, that's why we need clarity, will simply invoke wrath of the people and anger. And one of them symptoms of anger is stealing. They come and collect it. Sometimes they don't want to say they're stealing, they're collecting it. Anybody stopping them, they'll stop them. Whether they are pastors, they will do that. They want to listen to anyone else except themselves. So I think leadership has a lot to do with this. And Wakenya wenzangu, let us demand good governance, and let us be example ourselves. We can speak and speak, but if we are bribing to get jobs, if we are the ones that are fueling, we got this person because it is our tribe, we are following him or her, just because they come from our place, then we are basically on the same side as the people we are trying to fight against, because that's what they're doing. They're just perfecting what we want. And we can see it in Kenya where somebody is on a good side doing well. Then when things change, Wamunyoro is an example, and plus others, people who we thought they were good people, and then all of a sudden the wind changes, they are there. So it's like it's very hard to even have comrades to stand together with and let's fight this together. One day we are here, one day there. So that's my take on it, Wenzangu, and that we need some hard work, kazi ifanyike in the security side as well as clarity. Supreme Court must help us interpret that clause, because clearly it's supposed to be 2026 from my reading, but maybe probably there are other interpretations that should be made clear to us. We want to see what we are doing, because I think we have been failed by these constitution interpreters, these lawyers. They have not helped us. They are actually part of the problem for our nation, because they've never made things clear. Even clear things like somebody winning, they come up with their own little stories. So lawyers, I think you are indicted. You need to help us understand what the law says, and those judges are probably useless, part of the problem. But we have the Supreme Court, because they have not proven themselves to interpret that constitution to the benefit of all us as Kenyans. So when we see a problem, it's almost from everywhere, at the legal side, and then the executive side, and then the legislative side. They are all in this together, and so they never come out with a clear pathway to what is helpful to the nation. And so there's that confusion, but let them be clear, very, very clear on the date, because we want to know the date. I think Mama Selina talked about election. I think in Kenya it's only one day. It's one time. If maybe if referendum is to kind of separate the dates, like the US, maybe that might be helpful, where a half of members are chosen during a national whatever election, and then the others in the midway, so that the government is not empty. The idea behind the US is so that at any given time there are elected people in the government. There's no day, there's nobody, like for us in Kenya, that day when everybody going for an election, it's like the government is empty. We don't. The US don't want it that way. So there's nothing like everybody on the same day. The president will have his day, but there are others on the same day, and then they are midterm. For example, for the House, which is really the MPs, equivalent of our MPs, they only have 2 years, okay? They have to go back every 2 years. The senators are the one going for 6, okay? Then the president, his term, okay? So that's the way it's done here. The idea is to not to have an overwhelming date where everybody, and that might be also another problem that we have in Kenya, because stealing, you're trying to take care of everybody the same day, and that can be also a route to corruption and voter rigging and things like that. So I don't know the answer for that, but I pray that they clarify this date, because it can be a major problem very soon. Because in my mind, my understanding is 2026. Then I'm hearing Baba and the rest of 2027. Then I'm confused. So we need the Supreme Court to kind of help us here. Thank you. Back to you, Bernard.
So thank you, Reverend Lala, and we'll rush on the same. One fear I have about the Supreme Court and the other courts on that matter is our traditional way of interpreting the law in view of our current politics. just reminding you, remember Kibaki was to leave office by 2012. The elections of 2013 were to take place in 2012. But since there was a change of plan in his succession program, they played thus dilly-dallying until it became too late. And so the elections was moved from December 2012 to March of 2013. And also looking at the other rulings, especially on the presidential petition, the decision given is not usually legal. It is either politically instigated, or they are doing political balancing, or they are saying they are doing because the mood in the country is like this. So I kind of find that probably these judges may just give us that traditional aspect of the 5-year term, meaning somebody has to stay in office for 5 years, then there is an election. But if we followed that constitutional clause as it is, the elections, the valid constitutional date for especially presidential election is on the second Tuesday of the 5th year. And that 5th year, that means the starting of that 5th year, not after the 5th year. And until that is changed, we should have elections in 2026. Then also to change that from 2026 to 2027, we need a referendum, because it's part of the part of the constitution that cannot be amended without public decision. And so I think the framers of the constitution may have either done that as a mistake, or did that deliberately to allow that the constitution ruling will deliver this kind of leadership. And so I'm waiting for that ruling, but I fear, you see the way Mother Koome has behaved on the issue of Gachagua. The same judges, wale walikuwa wameweka na Filimona, are the ones she has put together and sent the case back to those same judges. So the traditional way of interpreting and ruling on constitutional issues is a big issue in terms of legal decisions, especially from the Supreme Court. We have not had landmark drastic ruling like what Maraga did in 2017. We have always played safe. We want to balance, and in the process, we are not making the constitution be able to bite. We are instead, and it's like you are a preacher. You know, there is those who use the Bible to preach what they want. Instead of them preaching the Bible, they have come to say what they want, and then they force a scripture into what they want to say. And so we kind of take the constitution, and instead of us enforcing the constitution, we want the constitution to line up with our tradition, to line up with our preference, to line up with what is more peaceful, what is not going to trouble the water too much. And I see us coming with that kind of a verdict from the Supreme Court, which will be very unfortunate, because it's going to create a crisis that cannot be taken like that. You know, it's not presidential petition that has a deadline. 14 days, it's over. Even if the Supreme Court rules otherwise, and the public court, which is the court of Kenyan people, thinks otherwise, it's going to be troublesome. And so if they are going to rule, let them rule what the Constitution has said, not this so-called balancing and trying to, appease this and appease this. Let us just have a drastic ruling. It's 2026, na kila mtu aanze kujiandaa. Now that 2026, is it going to be general elections, or is it going to be presidential only? If it's presidential only and the other ones have 5 years, let them continue with the 5 years. Then it will have helped us a great deal. We have the president first. Then when the president is in office, we can now look for these governors and all that. And to me, that will be a very good one, because hii story ya kutumianga urais na kutuletea watu ambao hawafai katika viti kwa sababu wana support rais ama wana support chama cha rais, we should move away from the same. Mama Selina.
Yes, Bernard. Nafikiria wangefanya hivyo mara ya kwanza, ya kwamba rais anatumia watu kujiombea kura na watu pia wanatumia rais kujiombea kura. But now hata hawa wachumbe ama senators, they will not agree ati ya kwamba kiti ya rais ifanywe peke yake na yao ifanywe peke yao, kwa sababu rais akiwa kwa kiti bado still inakuwa, unajua si kama Amerikani ati huwezi enda kuinfluence, but kama ni hiyo 50 year, wacha election ifanyike next year, kila mtu aende nyumbani. Si wamesema Ruto must go? So can we hold it now? Let them go tuanze a fresh election. Lakini kama tunaheshimu katiba tufuate. Ninajua kuna hiyo wakati ya ile ilirudiwa election iliharibu, but kwa nini iliwekwa election ya rais haikukuwa election ya nchi? So ama rais anatakikana kwenda 4 years and the MPs are 5 years. So I think it is right, wacha tupatiwe hiyo interpretation, tujue kabisa what is happening. Nae ma lawyers wasimame, kama ni kiti ya rais ifanyike ya rais peke yake, na ya members of parliament, governors, women rep na wengine ifanyike wakati ingine 2027. But all in all, Bernard, hatuwezi fanya hiyo yote kama nchi haiko kwa amani, and if the country is not stable. So maybe insecurity inaendelea, inamaanisha mambo mengi. You know, the government are also clever, maadui wako clever. Tuliambiwa wachinga waliisha Kenya. So we need to know what is going on in the country before anything. Thank you.
Exactly. Security comes first, peace prevails, and then we can conduct an election. And as it's being rumored, if the desperation is there that the William Ruto administration is going home, then there will be higher maneuvers by the same regime to stay in power by causing instability and declaring that the country is not in a mood to conduct an election. And that will provide that avenue of surpassing the date for election without conducting an election. But to me, that will be creating another more complicated problem. We would rather solve this problem here than postpone it to a place where we will not be able to contain whatever that may arise from the same. So a new start in the country is necessary, and let us facilitate the same. Quickly, let me just bring this in because we must bring the curtain down on the show. Lakini tusikilize hii.
And Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has dismissed claims that he is using financial incentives to sway regions perceived to be hostile to the Kenya Kwanza administration through his new economic empowerment program. Kindiki has been distributing millions of shillings at public functions, with the Mount Kenya region receiving the largest share of his recent handouts. In the past month alone, the Deputy President has contributed over 50 million shillings at events across the country, where members of parliament have also donated no less than 100,000 shillings each. Critics have dismissed the initiative as a display of opulence, coming at a time when millions of Kenyans are battling economic hardship and the government is implementing budget cuts for the 2025-2026 financial year. Gatete Njoroge reports.
Residents of Kiawara, Kieni West in Nyeri County broke out in song and dance moments after Deputy President Kithure Kindiki landed in their area. The allure of millions from the second in command kept hundreds waiting. It was now their turn to benefit from the financial windfall Kindiki has been distributing across the country, funds that have seen the Mount Kenya region emerge as the biggest beneficiary.
Gapi, 2 million shillings.
In the last 1 month, Kindiki, alongside several members of parliament, has disbursed at least 50 million shillings to various groups. He maintains the initiative is a personal empowerment program backed by leaders and well-wishers. This week alone, Kindiki, who has been crisscrossing the country with focus in Mount Kenya region, has donated over 30 million shillings to different groups. Last Sunday, the second in command was in Gatondo South. 2 days later, he returned to Kiambu County this time, taking the millions to Lari constituency. On Thursday, the tune was changed to Kisii County. Come Friday, and Kieni West residents smiled all the way to the bank. Kindiki defending what critics describe as a show of opulence.
Ati wanasema tusisaidie hao watu wa biashara ndogo ndogo, ati tunawahonga. Nyinyi ni watu wa kuhongwa? Kuna mtu amewahonga? Kuna mambo ya hongo hapa? Iko makosa kusaidia akina mama wa mama mboga wapate stock zaidi ya kufanya biashara yao? Kuna makosa anywhere? Iko makosa ya kusimama na watu ya bodaboda?
The second in command, who has faced criticism for allegedly using state resources to ward regions drifting away from the ruling coalition, likens his initiative to the empowerment efforts made by politicians during campaigns, efforts that are often abandoned once they secure their seats.
Wale watu unasikia wanapiga kelele huko Nairobi, bana saidia hawa. Kwanza wao wameshiba, wametosheka, wako na mali. Watoto wao wanasoma na wako na pesa mingi. Sasa wanauliza, sasa kikundi kipata sijui 1,100, 200 itasaidia nini?
Leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza have also voiced their support to what Gen Zs during their protest last year said was a display of extravagance in a country grappling with unemployment crisis and debt.
Kuna mtu anasema ati empowerment, ati wewe ukipata msaada kutokana kwa hii juhudi yetu, ati wende ukule. Yeye pia na watu wake wako na pesa, watuletee zao tukule.
Maneno ya empowerment hatujaianza saa hii. Hata wakati wa serikali ile ingine bado tulikuwa na maneno ya empowerment.
The question remains, where is the money coming from?
Angara wa Lari 100,000. PS wetu Mbogwa 200,000.
What fund? For how long? And will this model be replicated in other counties? Kindiki says apart from his own initiative, government has introduced another empowerment program dubbed Nyota, which will give 50,000 shillings grant to 70 businesses in 1,450 wards countrywide. 28 billion shillings has been injected in the program to be based in the Department of Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Okay, there you have it. Is it bribe or it is development? Reverend Lala, quickly.
Bernard, na mama, Kenya hatuwezi kujifundisha. We are unteachable. Kwa sababu ukiangalia democracies which are working well, hata kama ya the US and others, utapata where government officials, senators and Congress people have that money to give, that kind of money to give. The deputy president giving that amount of money tunajua where that money is coming from. It's not from somebody's pocket. It's from the taxpayers' money. And I can say that without any contradiction, that that money is coming from the people themselves that are sitting down there, and they're using that money to bribe them. I'm ashamed to watch something like that happening after Gen Zs had sacrificed themselves and did what they did, and still these guys can't learn. That amount of money cannot come from somebody's business, because we don't know how they've made money. They're doing so well in an economy, and if they're doing so well the way they're doing, they're claiming to be doing so well to give that amount of money, then they gotta tell us, they gotta teach us how to make that kind of money. They gotta make sure that those helpless, got no food, can't go to school, can't visit a hospital, you know, they gotta let us know how they can be helped to be able to be like them and have something to give. We know, I think Jakindu tells us here all the time, all our elected officials, every single day, I get solicitation wanatafuta pesa, wananiuliza pesa, nitakuonyesha. We are the one paying them. No, not paying them, but contributing to their campaign. Okay, so they are one of the jobs that they criticize for, because they are looking for money all the time for their campaign. Okay, it means they don't have. But in Kenya, it's the opposite. So these are thieves. When you think about it, Nuezi, there's no way we can justify, that kind of money going out every single day. Whatever is given for Kenya, that is our poverty. In fact, when Uhuru mentioned that 2 billion every single day, now you can see that money, that's the 2 billion. It's coming from somewhere, and it's going to the pocket of people, and they're using it to corrupt fellow Kenyans. Now you tell me, a kid in school aspiring to be somebody, to do something. I mean, the only thing I think that child would want to be is to become an MP, because I can get the money. 5 years I can collect it, and to become a teacher, that won't be good enough for me. To become a doctor, an engineer, maybe not. So this is a wrong model for our students, for our nation, for our people, because we are taking our country to hell, primarily. We are going there by this kind of act. So Nivio Bernard is a sad day, it's a sad story after what has happened, but it is clear that the government has no vision, because if they had this money, that money should have been put a pool somewhere and used to engineer this economy out of this trap that we found ourselves in. Our neighbors are doing much, much better. They're able to sell outside. In fact, other countries outside, they like to deal with them in terms of from business perspective than deal with Kenya. Because Kenya, we think we are great, and then we do nothing to use that greatness. So people are not interested in Kenyan product anymore, except for few things like tourism and others. But now they're going to Tanzania, they're going to these other places, Congo and Rwanda and Uganda. So we sad. And with the killing of priests, pastors, what country is that? Uganda went down when they killed the womb after the death of the.
Let's keep it short.
I'm just feeling it. Let somebody go.
Okay, thank you. Selina, please, your view on the same?
Bernard, I don't know what I can say. Unajua, Reverend Lala, nani wanapeana pesa na sisi tunachukua pesa? na watu wanasema kula pesa ni yetu. So why are we blaming one side? Wanaleta pesa ni ya development. Makanisa wana receive na wanajua kabisa kuonga ni mbaya. So tukireject, kuna makanisa walijaribu kureject, wengine wakachukua. So how will you do that? Wakati unapodiscipline mtoto, baba akidiscipline mtoto, mama anasema usikuse mtoto yangu, huyo mtoto anaendelea kuharibika. So the problem is us, wananchi wa Kenya. Wanasiasa wanakuja tu, wanatop on it. Kama Tribute anasunguka kusema development na watu wanachukua hiyo pesa, uniambie wamereject aje? So how can we be saved? Tutasaidiwa aje? Hata wakati ya kura, I'm telling you, hii watu watarudi. Kwa sababu sisi ndiye tunakubali. Somebody cannot make you a slave kama wewe unakataa kuwa slave. Wakati unaambia mtu jaribu kukataa, you cannot corrupt me if I'm not corrupt. So inaanza na mimi kwanza, nikatae kukua corrupt. So poverty or not poverty, and it is not poverty lala. Vijana ama watu ya Kenya sasa, kila mtu anataka kuwa tajiri. Mtu anaingia parliament after 1 year ama 5 years amekuwa billionaire. So wewe pena atamekuwa jana, uliona wewe kwanza ulituambia ulisimamia councillors wakachakuliwa. Wakati unaporuti tena mara ya pili na wewe ndio uliwasaidia, sasa wewe ndio unataka kuinamia hawa. How did they get that money? So who are we saying? Ni nani huyo watu? Wale politicians, wale watu wako serikali, they want to maintain status quo. Nae mwananchi tumefinywa. Tukiletewa hata 500, kwa nini nisiende huko kuchukua nje nipate unga? Tumedanganywa, watoto wanaenda shule. So mpaka tukatae. Unaona nchi kama ya Uganda, kwa sababu mimi nimehusika na Uganda sana. Waliwacha Museveni kuwadanganya. Wakati amesika msisi, ni ngumu kumutoa. So it is the same as Kenya now. Hawa wanasiasa wanapika kelele tu, lakini wakipatiwa pesa, ona Kiambu ama wapi Kindiki walikuwa nasema hawezi kanyaka huko. Kwani hiyo watu walikuwa kwa hiyo mkutano wanatoka nje. Alafu ukitaka kuongea wenye wako huko wanakuambia hapana, tumetuma watu yetu waende wachukue pesa. Siku gani watakataa hiyo pesa, Penat? Kama tunatuma. Ukituma leo akule 1,000, nikuje sasa wakati ya kura nimpatie 2,000 ama 5,000, si atanipigia kura kwa sababu ulimuonyesha kwanza achukue. So the change inatakikana kuwa kwa sisi. Na kwa sababu sisi tumekataa change, tutaruliwa hivyo mpaka tukue labda kama Mexicans. Everybody is a criminal. Everybody ni tajiri. So wale maskini hawataki kuendelea kuwa maskini, kwa sababu kama wewe ulichaguliwa kama MCA na sasa hivi umejenga nyumba, uko na gari, umenunua mashamba. So the problem is us, wapigaji kura, na problem si rais, problem ni wale watu wote wamechaguliwa. So wanataka kushikilia rais yenye ako corrupt. They cannot agree. Ndiye sababu Raila amekosa kiti miaka yote. Kwa sababu hawataki mtu mwenye ako straight. Inji saa nje wanataka perfect. mwenye wakiambiwa wanasema yes sir. So wataendelea kutuchakulia na sisi tutaendelea kupatiwa pesa. Thank you.
Okay, so Mami, interesting indeed. But you know, mimi nafuatanga maneno vile yanaendelea. Wakati serikali ya William Ruto ilikuja kwa ofisi, kitu cha kwanza walitoa hizo pesa zote ambazo zilikuwa zinatumika kwa niaba ya wananchi. Wakasema hawataki kupeana subsidy kwa wafanyabiashara ama suppliers, wanataka kuinvest kwa production, na kwa kupitia production ndio bei ya vitu zitaanguka. Sasa imekuwa kuaje? Sai hiyo pesa ambayo ilikuwa inaongezwa kwa petroli ili bei ya petroli ishuke, ilikuwa inalipwa other services ili Wakenya wakuwe able to afford whatever products are on the shelves of the supermarket. Imekuaje mpaka saa hii sasa hiyo pesa imeanza kutembezwa na inapeanwa bure kwa watu wa bodaboda, inapeanwa bure kwa mama mboga na kila mtu? Hii si ni ile hali ya kucheza na akili za watu, alafu ikifika wakati unawahitaji unawageusia ili waendelee kudance ngoma yako.
Na si hivyo ni ukweli Bernard, ni nini ingine ungefikiria? You know, unauliza swali na unachichipu. The government of the day walisanya pesa na wameweka na wamechikuta wako nayo, na sisi wananchi nje tuna receive hiyo pesa. Tunaambiwa hii ni chukueni hii milioni 5 kwa vijana, sijui 10 kwa wamama. Na nimesema tukikataa mimi mwenyewe nikiwa corrupt, nikatae corruption mimi mwenyewe, nikatae kukorruptiwa. You cannot just come and corrupt me kama nimekataa. Ukisema watu ya pikipiki waseme chukua hiyo pesa, na ukisema chakula imerudi chini. Si kama vile ilikuwa.
Mami, naomba tuelewane. Wakati pesa ni kwa mikononi ya serikali na serikali inapaswa kutumia hiyo pesa kwa manufaa ya nchi, hiyo pesa inapaswa kutumika katika masuala ambayo yatafaa kila mwananchi. Sasa ikianza kutembezwa kwa vikundi, hiyo inakuwa handout. Ni ile beggars wale wako kwa street, umetupia huyu 200, umetupia huyu 500, umetupia huyu 100. Ukimaliza hiyo street yote ya beggars, you can't account for that money, na vile itaenda kutumika hauna guarantee kwamba itatoa hao beggars kwa street. Ukikuja keshoe watakuwa bado wamelainika, wanangoja nini? Kupewa. So wewe kama msimamizi wa nchi ambaye unaongoza katika masuala ya maendeleo, itakuwaje unataka kuendeleza kile kitu ambacho hakiwezi kuleta maendeleo, kupeana handouts badala wewe kuweka industry ama kuweka kitu ambacho kitaajiri hao watu wafanye kazi na mikono yao, wapate mapato na kwa jasho lao, na waweze kusaidia jamii zao. And so what we are seeing here is not development. It is fraud whereby we impoverish the people. Tumeharibu biashara yao kwa kuwanyima hizo subsidies na kufacilitate hizo biashara, mpaka imefika mahali ambapo sasa umaskini umeenea. Tuko na wengi ambao sasa wanategemea wengine. Tumekuwa na situation ambayo sasa familia haiwezi kulipa rent, so familia 5 zinaenda kurenti nyumba moja, wafanye sharing ndio wa survive. Now, masuala kama haya yakianza kufanyika, and then kunaanza kuwa na hizo handouts, nchi haijasonga mbele. Hakuna kitu kimebadilika, ni ile tu recycle the same problem and take the people through circles, all of it for political purposes. Then hapa Kindiki anapouliza kuna hongo hapa. Kuna watu, ninyi mnakaa watu wa kuhongwa. It is clear kwamba hizi pesa zinazopeanwa, it is meant to seduce hawa watu waingie box ya kuchagua serikali hii tena. It is obvious to every seeing eye and every hearing ear. So why would the government that is supposed to solve the problem of the people be working out 24 hours to make sure that that problem continues? That the people continue to be needy beggars, and they want to rely on them so that they continue to be in power. Now, if that is the case, then it is a proof that hii serikali haifai kabisa. Haitaki kusuluhisha tatizo, linataka kuendeleza hilo tatizo iendelee. Kama kulikuwa na mchezo ilikuwa inaitwa vitimbi, ambavyo anaitwa nani huyu Ondiek anasema, kulikuwa unakumbuka ile stove ile mlikuwa mnapiga pressure, okay? So anasema huyo nani akileta stove yake, tengenezee haraka, anapelekeanga watoto wanaharibu, arudishe ili alipe pesa ingine. So kuna ile hali ambayo kama Wakenya sioni ikiwa ni proper kuichukulia vile ilivyo, kwa sababu it is the root of our problem. The root of our problem is we do our politics at the expense of the welfare of the people. Doing politics at the expense of the welfare of the people instead of doing our politics for the betterment of the livelihood of our people. Saa hii sasa Kerio Valley shule zote zimefungwa kwa sababu ya insecurity. Ilhali Nairobi watoto wanasoma, Mombasa watoto wanasoma, Western watoto wanasoma, Nyanza wanasoma, Kerio Valley zote zimefungwa. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu ya insecurity. Lakini mtihani ile inatoka NEC ni ile ile, itafanywa siku hiyo moja. So watoto wa Kerio Valley watawezaje kucompete na wa Nairobi ambao wamekuwa kwa class all through, okay? Na hawa nao wamekuwa wakitoroka bunduki all through. Sijui kama hiyo ina make sense. So kwangu mimi naona ni serikali inachezea wananchi badala ya kusaidia nchi songe mbele. Ni kama hawako tayari kutatua matatizo ya nchi, wanataka matatizo yaendelee kwa sababu ya matatizo yanasaidia siasa zao. Haisaidii nchi na wataki isaidie nchi, wanataka isaidie siasa. Na siasa inasaidiwa na nini? Na umaskini. Naomba tumalizie hapo. Kama unaoni la dakika moja, tafadhali sema saa hii. Mimi nafunga. Saa 8 imefika masaa Afrika Mashariki.
Bernard, let me say this. Kindiki has disappointed me. I thought he was a little bit better. He would do better than Gachagua. But for him to go out distributing money without questioning, after all what we have seen, I think it shows how bad we are as a nation. And I think it must take all of us. Our agencies tried to show us what is wrong with us, but we are still doing the very thing that we should be, we have learned through what GNC did, at least if we are trying to build a country. So in my mind, I think we are the same way. We're keeping the same trend, which is use money to buy people, because from that report, it seems as if it's taking money to Central Province to be able to win them, okay? Look at that amount of money. There are certain areas in Kenya that does not even see that kind of money going there. And so to me, it is shameful that we can't learn anything. We wonder why priests are dying. There's a correlation between what we do with money. They're looking at money. Where's the money going? They know where it is, okay, and they know what it's doing, and they don't have it, and why should they stay and not try to go get it? And that's what they justify. That's what they, and I agree, Mama Selina, watu watachukua pesa, watachukua kwa sababu ajui namna kufanya, wanajua ukweli, lakini mtoto lazima ale. So in other words, we have been reduced to a place where our morals imeenda, hata ile Africa imeenda, because what we are following now has nothing to do with Africa. Yani kitamaduni kia Afrika ilikuwa it had morals, it had a code followed, and people couldn't just go and steal from others. You protect, you provide. In fact, ukarimu meant that we are the one giving. But nipe, you know, you have to get it. This is really bad. This is really, really bad, because we have lost African mindset. Tulikuwa naye, hatujachukua ile ya West. We can't say we are, because we are not following you in the US and others whom we claim to have copied their constitution. So we are creating our own thing, which is built on who? On man eat man. Ni mimi, I get it in any way possible. I fight for it. It's mine. It's about me, not about us. And that's when we lose us. I think Ubuntu is it is I am because we are. That philosophy is gone. So I think that's why it is we are in danger as a culture, as a community, as a people, because there's nothing holding us together. What is it that now will hold us together if we can't even think of ourselves as Kenyan? Everyone thinking for themselves. It's dangerous. It's sad. It's something that we have to pray that God to help us. When pastors mean nothing, it means that, you know, they don't care. They don't respect those pastors, and pastors sometimes behaving so bad. But that very spirit operating in the country is not where we should be as a nation. You know, so let's really be concerned and pray and fast and ask God to help us. Genuinely, let's stop this religious stuff we have been doing out there. It's powerless religious stuff. We need spiritual power. We need God, the Spirit, to help us change our nation. Back to you, Bernard.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Lala. We appreciate that great work ahead of us as Kenyans, and I pray that we will lay to heart that we are not doing well, especially for the future generations. Now, that is why we need to shoulder this and ensure that we are investing our energy, our efforts, and our emotions into the right thing. Let's not play politics and stop at the politics. If the politics is not profiting the people and it's not helping the improvement of the country, we should shun that kind of politics. And that is why I am in agreement with the Traore's statement against the demand that Burkina Faso should return to democracy. He said, here we are not having democracy, here we're having a revolution. So until we are through the revolution, we'll talk about democracy later. I think we as Kenyans need to come up with a better means to address what is going wrong with our country and be able to fix it once and for all. But if we continue doing what we are doing, we are playing with a time bomb. And when that bomb takes off, we may not be able to contain it. The level of desperation and the level of anger in the heart and in the minds of Kenyans, I don't think it will go with political correctness, or it will be just done away by a handout. There, we need to have, I think, this is the time for that national dialogue that Baba was suggesting at KICC. If we don't do anything drastic in between here before the election day, I don't think we are sitting pretty as a country. And the elections could be just the provoker of what may go wrong with us as a country if we don't manage the in-between just before the elections. You remember the 97 elections. Yes, it was 97 elections where no reforms, no elections, no reforms, no elections. And Moi was adamant that he's not going to change anything. But at the 11th hour, he accepted that IPPG thing. And the IPPG thing was used as a diffuse, to diffuse the anger and the whatever agitation of the people. And then the recovery of the confidence of the public into the Electoral Commission so that they are now free to conduct an election. I don't see the William Ruto administration thinking in that direction and coming up with something that can be used to diffuse this anger in Kenyans. If we allow this anger to come to elections, I don't think we'll be able to contain whatever outcome that may come from it. And so I pray that the people responsible, especially, and especially the members of parliament and the senators, they should lead this process from the front because they are the main target. Hii kura itakuwa ya kulipisa kisasi, hii kura itakuwa ya kupunish watu, hii kura itakuwa ya kufukuza watu, na itakuwa na casualties wengi. Na some of the people that may find their way into parliament or find their way into the Senate may not have any credibility whatsoever. Tulikuwa tu tunavotia huyu kwa sababu tunataka kutoa huyu. We vote for this kwa kutoa huyu. And in the process, we may end up with the worst parliament, the worst Senate, having all these incompetent people simply because we were punishing all the people that were in parliament, all the people that were in the Senate through these elections. And so I would want that the elders in this country and the people that are experienced in national leadership and all that should step up and help the recovery of this country. I live in Nairobi. I interact with people. The level of anger you meet, even in the marketplace. Umeenda tu kuuliza bei ya sukuma. When I was in the supermarket the day before yesterday, and I wanted to pick a packet of milk. And there was this lady, she was arranging the packet of the milk on the shelf. And so I saw it is bad manners for me just to go and pick the packet of milk. So I decided to greet her. And I greeted her, she didn't answer the greeting. So I thought she has not heard. So I said, the greeting nowadays has become very expensive. And it's like people are just there. Yani, hausiki na mambo yako kabisa. And so that is not normal. And so what I'm calling on us, and Reverend Lala is here, Mama Selina is here, and we have different contacts here with responsible people. The earlier we begin to have this serious dialogue and help diffuse the anger of Kenyans, especially when it comes to political leadership, the better. And we don't have time, especially if these elections are coming in 2026. Hakuna muda. So lazima to step up na tusuluhishe hili swala mapema. Tuache hizi games zinachezwa. Kindiki anacheza mchezo. So is Ruto playing the game. Nyumba ni nyumba ndio. Watu wataingia kwa nyumba. That's not a problem. But kama unatumia hizo nyumba ili ni kama umekosana na wife, mlikorofishana na unapaswa kuomba msamaha, lakini wewe badala uombe msamaha umerudi na kuku, ukarudi na mchere, ukarudi na siku hizi wanataka wig, kuja na human hair. You keep bribing and bribing and bribing other than owning up your problem, your mistake, and saying I am sorry. Without that reconciliation, It doesn't matter how many gifts you buy. Those gifts will not deal with the issue. And eventually, it may just reach a place whereby this cannot be done anymore. And so that's what I see happening. Instead of the political class owning up their mistake and then getting back into the people, accepting wamefanya wame lose touch na watu, wanapasa sasa kwanza kufeel watu na kuempathize na watu na kusimama kwa niaba ya watu. Instead of them seeking reconciliation, they are either insulting the people or they are ignoring the people or running away from the people altogether. To me, that is irresponsible, and it is a recipe for problems that we may not be able to contain. And when I look at the political landscape, it's scary. It's scary, and including those people who are saying they are opposition or they are whatever. Sioni mtu ambaye anaweza kusimama na kuita hii nchi isimame na nchi isimame sai. That's how risky it is. Na kukidoga kikianza kunuka, nani atasimama ambia wa Kenya rudi kwa nyumba? We have turned the country against even Baba. Okay? So nani atasema vijana turudi kwa nyumba, wacha hii maneno tutashughulikia? Nobody will be there to listen. So as responsible parents and responsible leaders, tuanze kutengeneza njia mapema kabla Yesu afike. La sivyo, Yesu atatukuta kama tuko tayari. Naomba hivi. Muda wangu umeyoyoma. Leo ni weekend. Mama, nakupatia sekunde 30 kama unala kuongezea, lakini ni mimi nataka mnipatie, na kama mtaki kupigia simu wale wazee wa kama sijui Kalenjin elders, Luo elders, mnipatie namba za simu zao. Hii uzee wa elder wakuletewa pesa na wanasiasa ndio mnasimama hapo mnapeana press conference ishe. Tukue wazee wenyewe kabisa, tunaona inji na iko karibu kuanguka, tufikirie. Hii ya press conference haifanyi kazi.
Bernard, tulisema we don't need history na mutaki wase. So hiyo yote unasema hakuna mahali inaenda. Serikali ya sasa, vijana, kila mtu, nilikwambia they don't want to know. Wanataka kujua kutoka 2017 na ikuje mbele ama 2022. So we are sasa, amutaki advice, amutaki kujua Kenya iliundwa aje, na ndio sababu mumemeswa. You are dealing with people wenye wamejua. Sasa mwenye alisema mse anaona mbele ama shingo yake ni mrefu na macho yetu ni fupi, alijua. So tukimalizia, hauna kitu unasema, hatutaki history, hatutaki kujua na hatupangwi. That is what it is. Thank you.
Wewe mami, wewe uko kwa dini ya tupangwingwi, na hata mara ya mwisho kuangalia siku kuona kwa list ya watu wapangwingwi. Mimi nataka katika tunapofunga kipindi tuwe unajua mama yangu alitulea sisi watoto 11 na alikuwa peke yake. She's still alive today. May God make her live longer. She's an empire in herself. In fact, she's pretty old right now, but she still runs the home. She runs the home in such a way that our wives, she always tells them, I was here before all of you, and I can send all of you away if you misbehave. And so she never allows anybody to intimidate her in that home. And what I'm saying is that all the 11 children that she raised, she knows each one of us, and she knows what to do to get us to listen to her, even when we are in defiant. Like maybe one of our brothers ameenda huko akalewa, akapiga mtu ama akapigwa, akashikwa na polisi. And then sasa ako cell. mama anajua ni mtoto gani atapigia simu ambaye atakusanya hao wengine wote waende kusaidia huyu ambaye ameshikwa. So sisi kama wazazi, kile nachosema ni watoto wamesema hatupangwingwi, wamesema hatutaki historia, wamesema we don't care about this country. Tutaacha hivyo ama tutatafuta mbinu ya kuwalainisha, kwa sababu tunahitaji Kenya. Hawa hawataki historia ndio, hawapangwingwi ndio, they don't care ndio, lakini tukiwaachilia hivyo wakachoma Kenya, sisi tuko na Kenya nyingine? Hatuna. Tuko na spare part? Hakuna. So prevention is better than cure. Tusipoziba ufa, tutajenga ukuta. Tungoje kujenga ukuta ama tuzibe ufa? Ufa ni hii dysfunctional relationships. Hatupangwingwi, we don't care about history, wazee waende. That is dysfunctional family. Can we look for a way to reconcile that family and bring back harmony, especially before we go to elections? If that is not the approach, to me naona hata kule tunaenda tuende miaka ngapi hatuwezi fika. Anyway, that is food for thought. We'll be picking up that conversation in the next show. Na tuendelee na show hata kama tumefunga. Share the video widely, get more people to subscribe, and thank you those who are supporting us to pay our bills and supporting Frank. It is really helps a great deal. There is a lot of pressure on us here to ensure that this show is on. And then, of course, we are being fought from the east, the west, and the north at the same time. So please, endelea kutuombea na uendelee kutusupport na kukaribisha watu wengine wakajoin pia wakuwe sehemu na mazungumzo haya. Naamini kwamba suluhu itatoka kwetu wakati tunazungumza ukweli wakati wote. See you in the next show. Thank you.